from our province of Biafran, and we are here live and direct. Today is the 11th day of December 2025. Being Thursday, therefore, I welcome each and every one of you to welcome your friends and well wishers to this sacred platform where we preach the gospel of both physical and mental emancipation, because this is the most important job of the restoration, reversing our programmed brains, our mentalities to understand how things work. This is our rallying point. This is where we worship. Remember, Radio Biafra is in defense of freedom. This is a revolutionary radio. We tell you here what you can never hear, or what they can never tell you in the mainstream media. What they can never tell you in the mainstream media is what we inform you here, facts and figures. And that is why we urge our listeners, please invite your brothers, your sisters, your children, your mothers, fathers, grandparents, please, your friends and well-wishers, even your enemies, please invite them. Call them and tell them the hour has come for them to draw onto their various listening devices for Radio Biafra London, because there are multiple platforms where you can listen, or through which you can listen to Radio Biafra London. There are multiple platforms because we are simulcasting both on FM. We are on FM in various parts of Biafra land. We are on frequency modulation 102 CHK 102.1 in many parts of Biafra land, and we continue expanding until every part of Biafra land is covered. It is an uphill task. It is a very tedious journey, but we must get there. We never surrender because we know that we are on the right path. We are doing the right thing. Nigeria, with their vast funds, with their vast financial resources and their connections, they are not able to stop what we are doing, because we are doing the right thing. That is it. They are the ones that are trying to cover up with lies and lies and lies. And know ye that lies will one day expire. Lies expire. That is it. But reality, truth, continues forever. That is what we are in. Therefore, you have no excuse. Join us on FM in many parts of Biafra land, 102.1, CHK 102.1 in parts of Biafra land. In also the wider zoo, we are on satellite. You can be listening via satellite, free-to-air satellite. We are there on satellite, please. On the radio section, you can be listening. You can tune in and search for Radio Biafra London, and you'll be hearing us live and direct, because today, being Thursday, is the 11th day of December 2025. You can also download our very low data consuming application. It is called IPOB Community Radio. It is in your Google Play Store. It is in the Play Store, in the phone you are using, the smartphone you are using. As long as you are connected download IPOB Community Radio. You can also, in addition, you can download Simple Radio and or Radio Garden. These are different applications through which you can be listening to us. Once you download IPOB Community Radio, automatically you'll be hearing, you'll be listening. But if you download other applications like Simple Radio or Radio Garden, now inside it you search for Radio Biafra London and you will be listening. You can also log into our mother page, www.ipob.org, www.ipob.org. And inside there, once you are logged in, you click, you will see where it is written live broadcast. Click there. You are just only a click away from listening to us through there. Click live, click on live broadcast and you'll be listening. Whether it's in your laptop, whether it's in your desktop, whether it is in your smartphone, it is the same thing. Besides, there also is written support ESN, donate to IPOB support ESN through PayPal. You can do the needful by support what we are doing, because what we are doing is a voluntary job, but it needs money, because IPOB needs finance in order to continue the work that IPOB is doing, in order to continue. Therefore, support what we are doing, support IPOB. Once again, I welcome each and every one of you on today's program. Today is the, I continue repeating the date so that you understand that today we are live and direct. When you check the date I am mentioning, compare it to that day, you know whether it is live or not, because sometimes some people start inboxing me, Mazi, are you live? Or repeat. So please, that is why from time to time I continue repeating the date. Therefore, we must continue doing the needful. We are Biafrans, and we have no atom of doubt that we are doing the right thing. We are doing the right thing. It is not easy, but it's not impossible, because there is no other way than the hard way. Therefore, as you may know, today we will continue on the same series of the Sokoto Caliphate manipulations. Today we are going to talk a bit, just a bit, about Sharia law. That is what we are going to talk about, discuss about it, just a little bit about it, because many people don't understand what this thing means and what it is being used for. Mostly it is very, very simple. It is very, very simple, you know. So here it is our duty, in order to give out the information, factual information. And according to Emmanuel Bosun, he told the congregation that what we give out the information, whatever you do with the information depends on you. Some people will use it judiciously, while some others might jettison the information. Therefore, the information you get here, it depends on you what you use it for. Some people will go further into making verifications. Some people will go further into making researches about the information which we give out here, which is highly appreciated. Because we don't tell you to automatically accept what we say, but go into researches and find out whether what we are saying is factual. That is it. Because when you go into research now, it will facilitate you to know. You've had it, now you know. through research, you confirm. And while confirming, as you confirm, you have known the truth, you have known it. And once you know that truth, it will also set you free, because when you know the truth shall set you free. He didn't say when you hear the truth. No, you might hear the truth without even caring to go further into knowing it. That is why we urge each and every one of us to always make researches. Researches is questioning. You question, subjecting everything to the author of reason. The time of belief is no more. We are in the time of knowledge, the era of knowing. How do you know? You investigate, you make researches and find out. And once you have found out, you have known it. That is it. You can be making references, you can be preaching it. That is how it is done. Therefore, please invite your friends and well-wishers. And don't forget that tomorrow being Friday, the 12th day of December, Mazi Jonathan Chinedu will be here on this hallowed platform in order to make some explosive expositions. What we are seeing in Imo State is worrisome. The Supreme Court governor of Imo State, his time is almost up, wrapping up. His 8th year is wrapping up. That is why he wants to clean up his mess, so that no other people, not a new governor, will come and start, seeing the mess he committed. So he has finished using the people, the criminals, the kidnappers, all those things they have been doing, automatically tagging it to IPOB. All of a sudden you have kidnappers then that has nothing to do with discovered, so quote unquote discovered. You have organ harvesting slaughterhouses being quote unquote discovered. All of a sudden IPOB has been shouting on this, that these people are working hand in hand with Hope Uzodinma in order to keep everybody on the hill, every citizen living in Imo State on the hill, so that they would not have time to ask questions about the governor. That is the thing. And in order to heap all these atrocities, they heap it on IPOB, using it to convict Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. These are things all of a sudden they are discovering them. These things has been there. Many bloggers, IPOB has been crying, eyewitnesses has been shouting about it. The IPOB has been crying all the time about it for many years. They kept quiet. All of a sudden, Hope Uzodinma wants to, as he's getting out of office, after subjugating, killing our people for 80, he is the worst killer in Imo State. I am telling you, the worst governor, the worst of the worst. After killing and destroying, using his criminal gang in order to destroy, kill, murder, massacre, harvest organs, kidnap, while heaping it on IPOB. Now all of a sudden they are discovering things every day, and little wonder, most of those people have run away. They are tipped off, they go, so that you go, so that they don't, or if they see them, they kill them so that they will not talk. This is politics of self-destruction, which our people are engaged in. Self-destructive politics. They don't do politics in order to advance our collective interest. They only advance their selfish interests while diminishing our collective interests. That is it, and that is how they fell. You see, the situation of Biafrans in Nigeria, the situations of Igbos in Nigeria, is mostly due to the very amateur and bad politics which they play. Very selfish politics, right from the word go. Those that play politics of collective interest, they get it all. Do you see what do you call it? Him, the first Sadwana of Sokoto in the 1960s, Ahmad Bello. He played the politics of collective interest. He called it northernization agenda. He didn't come out to say that, no, everything is for him. No. He protected, openly cared about the caliphate, the Sokoto caliphate, which he massed into northern Nigeria. You know? And that is why they have it all. But Azikiwe and the successful, his successors and others, they play individual selfish politics. Azikiwe wants to be the Nigerian president at all costs. It doesn't matter what it takes. Even if it takes relegating his people to the background, even if it takes him having no power, but only empty drum, you know, no political power, but he is a president being promoted in the eyes of people, lying to our people as if he is anything or he was anything, but he is not. He was nothing. So this is about politics. Again, you don't see the same thing. Nothing mega. Now look at, in order to do the position you are holding, it is very, very delicate. Look at what other people are planning. You can prevent it. It is preventable. You can prevent it so that there will be no catastrophe against our people. But he said, now who they talk that? Now I know, see me now. Now me be the head of state. Who be that? Now me be again you don't see now. Now me be again you don't see. Where ocean no the, where river no the swallow. Again alligator. Where crocodile, where river no the swallow. So now me, who go do that? Before he understands what was happening, his head was no more there. These are the very bad politics that led to where we are today. And the issue is, our people never learn from history. That is the most saddest part of it. They continue playing the same type of selfish politics. You see, today you see every time the southwestern governors, they have meetings. It doesn't matter their differences in political parties. They have conferences together, meet together to discuss their regional issues. But we are southeast, even south-south. Where are they? Who will be together? Who will be the leader? Very selfish, you know, politics of animal kingdom they play. When you have all of them, nobody talks. No, they don't care for what happened. Oh, yes, this one. Hey, they build the road. They build this. So building road and building here, yes. But what about our collective interest as a region? Do they discuss about it? Do they meet themselves face to face and forget about I am APC, I am PDP, I am this party, I am. Put it aside and talk about the problem that is the problems that are facing us as a people. Do they care? The answer is no. They continue the same mistake. That is pathetic. Before I continue, let me just read, because I think I'm waiting for Mazi or Basi to join me. Before I continue, I want to read this news about the continuous detention of ex-AGF, Attorney General of the Federation, Malame. This was on yesterday's news headline. He has been detained for many days for money laundering and terrorist financing. You know, let me tell you what is happening. Now they are trying to sacrifice the sacrificable in order to prove to the United States that they are doing something. That is what you should know. They are trying to sacrifice. Remember, Olawumi, he said it that they know the terrorist sponsors, financiers. They know them. The Nigerian Secret Service know them. The Nigerian Secret Service knows them by their name. Those that are in high places, they know them. So, why are they not tackling them? Because it is not easy. These are people in Asorok. These are, anything like Malami, what he's saying now. Because this is how they are persecuting me. My political enemies are persecuting me. They found out multiple accounts amounting to billions and billions of naira and dollars on him. This was the Attorney General of Nigeria that also played a very big role in convicting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. These are the people. This is what we are seeing in Nigeria. Let me read a bit. Let me take a paragraph. According to EFCC, they said, according to DSS, sorry, they said, or is it EFCC? Yes, EFCC. He is presently in our custody. He was initially granted bail, but did not meet the conditions. The offenses against him are many. These are people that are serving in a justice, the head of justice in Nigeria, Attorney General. But he is filthy as pig. Presently, we are investigating him for 18 different offenses. Some of them are money laundering, abuse of office, and terrorism financing. We cannot put a figure to the amount involved now because we keep uncovering some of the deals as we investigate. This is the person in whose office Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was renditioned. These are the people, very filthy as pig in their deals and characters, but they will be in the office dispensing justice. How do you think that somebody like this, a terrorist, can dispense justice? How? But this is Nigeria and nothing more. Therefore, I'm still waiting for Mazi Obasi to join me. I will go a bit into what I have today about the topic as it continues is the Sokoto Caliphate manipulations. And today I want to talk about Sharia law. Before, there is a clip I will play, which you have also heard, and many of you have seen it on social media, and it is baffling, mind-boggling how the caliphate have to defend the Sharia law, even if it means destroying Nigeria they cherish. Now, before I continue, let me just give you a synopsis of what Sharia means. Sharia in Islam is a primary explanation or definition of Sharia. Sharia is Islam's divine, legal, and ethical code. Remember, once something is divine, there is nothing you can do. It is, it's unchallengeable. It comes from their God, Allah. Call it anything. So, they say the Sharia is Islam's divine, legal, and ethical code, derived from the Quran. Quran is their holy book, as you have Bible, and the teachings, stroke practices of Prophet Muhammad. It is called Sunnah and Hadith, guiding Muslims on spiritual, moral, and daily life, covering worship, that is prayer, fasting, to family, finance, and criminal justice. You can see that Sharia law covers every aspect of their life, including criminal justice. So, as I will play the clip, if they are telling you that no, Sharia is different. The criminal justice of Nigeria will take precedence. That is nonsense. They are using their normal diplomacy, which they call takia, in order to deceive you. It covers everything. That is Sharia. The punishment for some crimes is fixed. That is, they call it in Arabic had, H-A-D-D. Death, that is death for apostasy. Apostasy in Sharia is conversion from Islam to either Christianity or any other religion. It is banned by Sharia law because the penalty is death. That is what Sharia means. Amputation of the hand for theft, and of the hand and foot for highway robbery. Death by stoning for blasphemy. Do you see why they killed Samuel? What do you call her? Samuel, Deborah Samuel. That is why they stoned and burnt her to death, because they are operating on Sharia. Do you see it? Though Deborah Samuel is not a Muslim, is a Christian, but they have to do it because it is a divine law. In a country of secularity or multi-religion, and extramarital sexual relations, that is zina, when the offender is married, and that is they stone you to death for extramarital sexual relations when the offender is married, and 100 lashes of strokes of cane when the offender is unmarried, and 80 lashes for an unproved accusation of unchastity, that is qadhf, and for the drinking of any intoxicant, that is anything, let's say alcohol or alcoholic beverages. That is why even in Kano, according to the news, they destroyed thousands of beer bottles, thousands, and confiscated the lorry carrying it, and gave it to handed it over to the Hizbah police. That is a country you and I are as fellow citizens, whereas we don't know anything about Sharia. It is not our way of life, but they force us to be in there. Do you see what we are suffering? And they are denying that there is no Christian genocide. But I will go further, please. I will go further. I will go further, please, in talking about it. Now, I want you to listen. I want you to listen to this clip. You might have listened to it. You might have heard it. Yes, I think I'm now joined by Mazi Obasi. Yes, please. Before I continue playing the clip, which I wanted to, because I've been waiting for you to join. Please, Mazi, please, can you introduce yourself, make your introductory statement before I continue? Mazi, please. Mazi Obasi, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
There, Mazi, please go on. Just your introductory statement before I continue. Mazi, are you still there? Mazi, just hold on. Your voice was not coming out. Can you hear me, please? Just hold on. I don't know. I hope you are hearing me. Don't mute. Just hold on. Don't mute. Let me see. Are you hearing me now? Mazi, please talk. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, now it's okay.
Loud
Please.
and clear, I can hear you.
Yeah, go on now. Go on now. Your introductory statement, please.
Okay. All right, thank you. Today, like I said, my name is Mazi Obasi, and today I'm going to present some very timely and powerful discussion that I believe every indigenous person or people in Nigeria as it is today, including and especially the people of the Middle Belt, Plateau, Southern Kaduna, Benue, Nasarawa, and so forth. You know, we feel your deep history of resistance and struggle for identity and other things. Today, I am here to remind you that your story has a twin, a very powerful one, and that twin happens to be born in more than 1,500 kilometers far away in Ghana. So here today, as a student of history, I am going to share with you the history of the Ashanti people in Ghana and how this history is very identical to yours and how you can draw from this history. Learn about how these people who were subjugated, like you are currently being subjugated by the caliphate, how they came together, form a confederacy that has not only made them survive, but has helped them and make them a pre-colonial superpower and currently one of the most powerful kingdom in Africa, and I can tell you for sure the most powerful kingdom in Ghana. We can draw from their history, and for every tribe, every clan, every ethnicity that are currently fragmented across, the borders that has been created politically in Nigeria, you can learn from them, seek that inspiration, and know how to not only resist, but to forge ahead, organize yourself, and become a powerful people that you may be able to withstand what is going on currently. Thank you very much. This is where I will stop for now until I'm invited back. There one.
There, Mazi, thank you very much. Before you go there, I will just continue a bit on what I want also to talk about the Sokoto Caliphate manipulations. Today I want to talk about a bit about the Sharia, please. And I am playing this clip. Let me play the clip to analyze it a bit, because these people, they are manipulators. They know how to manipulate. They are, how do I put it? They are smart politicians. Let me put it like that, because politicians can manipulate very easily. They will tell you lies, they will tell you half-truths, and paint it for you to look as truth. Listen, please. This is in retaliation, or they are talking against the pressure on Nigeria in order to abolish Sharia law, because the American government is seeing it as, rightly seeing it as the source of the terrorism in Nigeria. Please listen.
Nation. With the benefit of hindsight, this does not come as a surprise. Past American governments had once announced that Nigeria would break by 2015. When that did not happen, after 10 years, they are now taking deliberate steps to make it happen. It seems like the plot they are working on is to instigate a religious crisis in the country by provoking the Muslim population.
So he said they want to provoke religious crisis. Now I ask listeners, Biafrans and every listener here that is a Nigerian or that is conversant or has been conversant with the Nigeria far and recent history. Has there been no religious crisis? in Nigeria. He said they want to provoke religious crisis, as if there has not been religious crisis in the northern Nigeria, being provoked by the Sokoto Caliphate. Can you answer that? Just think. They say people are trying to provoke religious crisis because why? Because they are now, the Trump administration is trying to go direct to the root cause, direct to the center of gravity, according to Olawumi, the center of gravity of the problem. Not fighting foot soldiers only, say direct. And these people are telling the public that, they are now provoking religious crisis, as if there has not been religious crisis in Nigeria even before independence. What about the Maitasini? What about them? What about the northernization agenda by Ahmad Bello? What about the jihad, the Ottoman Danfodio jihadism started in 1804 that established this Sokoto Caliphate through jihadism as an Islamic state, Fulani Empire. And he is talking about provocation of religious crisis. Come on. We expose their lies. Anywhere they go, we expose them. And that is why they are mad at IPOB, because they don't want their lies to be exposed. Because they see Nigerian indigenous population, from the Hausa to the TV to everybody, down to Igbos, as people that are easygoing, manipulable set of people. You shall look at how Nigerians are. They now take Muslim ticket. And young Christians are there laughing and drinking, going to church and taking their miracles in the church. They grab power everywhere. Listen, continue listening, please.
Recently, the US President Donald Trump made an accusation that there was a Christian genocide going on in Nigeria, even confirming that churches were being burned and Christians killed virtually every day.
Is this lie? More than 10 years back, Pastor Bosun is on the YouTube. If they remove it in the YouTube, we have copies. Pastor Bosun revealed, he said his mission was going in Nigeria churches to open their eyes on what is happening to Christians, mostly in northern Nigeria, core north and north central. He showed the videos where Fulani terrorists will go into a church filled up with people. They will lock the door, lock it very well, pour fuel on it, burn everybody there, both Dick and Harry, children, pregnant women, men, old, young, all burn them to ashes. And this man is telling gullible indigenous population that there has not been religious crisis, because they are the author. That is the reason. The Sokoto Caliphate is the author of the crisis, of the genocide. Are you getting it? That's why they don't care. For Christians, who cares? Where God, Jesus is individual. Jesus is good for you because you survive. So no other. If you want Jesus to be good for you, go and have faith. If they kill you, which means you don't have faith. That is the most horrific gullibility I've ever seen. They don't stick together. This one will bring his apron. He say, sell apron. So clothes that is meant for traffic warders and other, industrial workers. Tell them that this is what serves you. You are choosing. Other people that are being killed in the north central, they don't have faith enough. So Jesus cannot save them because it's not Jesus' fault. This is the most stupid version of ideology I've ever seen. No person cares for nobody. That is why the caliphate is having a heyday, dealing with everybody, lying about it. Continue listening.
He then started rolling out conditions to be met by the Nigerian government and sanctions to be considered on government, individuals and groups. He went on to list Nigeria yet again as a country of special concern. Among the conditions he rolled out was that the Sharia system was to be abolished in the northern states.
Do you know why this man has the audacity? Because people like highly esteemed Christians like Bishop Kuka, he came out and started talking from both sides of his mouth. A reverend father that is a governor, the chief security officer of one of the worst affected states in Nigeria, Benue State, came out. He's a practicing reverend father, Catholic reverend father, came out and denied that there is nothing like that. That is why they have the audacity, because they know that you are buyable. They can buy you with political position or with money, and you now go and start celebrating with your family that Jesus have done it for you. So every other Christian, they don't have faith. Let them suffer it. Sometimes, Mazi Obasi, sometimes or them come, I don't know what to say. I don't know what type of version of religion they brought. They infected people with, mostly in our land. I cannot understand, honestly. It beats my understanding. So that is why this man has the audacity to do that. Do you know that even during independence, normally Nigeria was even less than 30-something% Muslims. There was Christian majority, because many part of the north are mostly Christians. This is what people don't know, or many don't understand. But their audacity, their intimidation, the caliphate's manipulation has brought them, every time they are claiming it's 50-50 in Nigeria, it's lie. It's lie. Because look at how you check things. In the north, core north. So when you talk about the north, they took this middle belt with Anyike. The caliphate took a middle belt with Anyike to become part of the north, with a strong with intimidation. Otherwise they are not part of the north. I'm telling you. But let's go like that. The core north, they are mostly Muslims, yes, but there are Christians and other traditionalists there in the core north, I say. Now in the middle belt are mostly Christians, non-Muslims, mostly. Now when you come to the south, in the southwest, there are Christians and Muslims, but the Christians are more than the Muslims in Yoruba land. Now when you come to the east, almost all are Christians and traditionalists. So how do you say that Islam is majority in Nigeria? These are things that people don't consider. But because nobody cares, you just believe and Jesus will care for your problem individually. No collectivity. You go to church and you pray for your own solution, for your solution to your problem, or highest for the you gather you people as his business. be telling you everything that he's representing Jesus, and he will be protecting only you as his members. Others don't care about others. Unless he convert them, they start coming. Other Christians don't care about them. This is one of the most evil I've seen. I'm telling you. Now, continue listening, please.
And blasphemy laws be scrapped. Then, last week, a group of Nigerians living in the US, led by one Dr. Ebenezer Obadere, senior fellow at the Council on Foreign Relations, visited the US Congress masquerading as so-called experts on Nigerian affairs to request the Congress to make the US government demand that the Nigerian government put pressure on the northern states to abolish the Sharia system and the Hizbah. At this juncture, we would like to make the following observations. One, even the British colonialists who conquered our land by force of arms could not altogether get rid of the Sharia system.
The British, he said, that conquered the north and the south, he said they could not get rid of Sharia. It is not because they are powerful, no. But the then emirs, they saw many emirs being killed by the British, and they surrendered, and they made a pact. They begged the British, say, please, we will serve you, but do not thwart our system which we are in. We have a structure. Please, we beg you, we will lick your ass as you want. We will do anything you want us to do, but rule our people through us. Let this structure continue, the caliphate. They begged for it, they negotiated for it. It is not that the British were not able to do. No. And the Federal Guard saw that, look, it's good for him. What does he care about the primitive animals? All that he wants is, if he gives them tax, they are able to provide the tax. Anything he tells them, they will do it without asking any question. So it's good. Say, okay, what is the need of thwarting the structure that was here and spending British Empire money to start building different structure, going through all those troubles? He said, okay, it's okay with us. So let the caliphate remain, and anything they tell them, they do. They don't see even the population of the caliphate as human beings, you know. So this is what really happened, because these people, they know when to cow low. They know when to, be diplomatic. They know when to intimidate. They know when to use violence. They know when to come as a peaceful people. They know when to rally people around them. And that is what they are doing in this declaration they are making. They are now making people to see what Donald Trump and the American Congress, what they are trying to do to kill the terrorists in Nigeria, as if Trump is anti-Islam. That is one of their shrewdness. They are. They know how to touch people's sentiments and use it. This is a caliphate. These are the manipulations we are talking about. They are now calling Muslims to come and defend Islam, whereas nobody is attacking Islam. Are you getting it? Donald Trump is not attacking Islam. He said he is going to come to, as Nigerian government here, they have been seeing even military commanders, even one time a Yoruba general lamented that they cannot get the equipment to match all these terrorists, Nigerian military. So, and after I think they remove him or they court-martialed him, I don't know. Many other junior officers have been talking about this, lamenting. Now, Donald Trump said, okay, I will come to do it. I will kill the terrorists, wipe them off, so that Nigeria will be in peace. Now, they take it now as another, no, it's attack against Islam. Do you see how they roll? This is the takia you are talking about. But you don't know. This is the diplomacy, the politics they are playing. Now, as they make it look like Islam, you see in this their declaration, you will see Fulani will be the chief. Maybe the person talking, I don't know. It might be from Kanuri tribe. They will put him. People there, they will select different tribes in the north that are Muslims, in order to put a common face that, they are attacking Islam. But go to the north. Out of the 19 governors in the north, 10 are Fulani. in places, in states that have virtually even maybe less than 0.1% of Fulani, but they impose them on the people. Now you ask, are there not other tribal Muslims that are there? That is how they twist Nigerian people's brain. You know, since Ottoman Danfodio, the caliphate had been seeing indigenous people in Nigeria as very foolish. After all, Ottoman Danfodio used himself, only preaching, only mouth. He used to turn houses against houses. He pitched houses against themselves using Islam. And when they started fighting against themselves, they killed their king Yunfa, who became victorious, the caliphate, the Fulani. That is how they roll. They have started again calling on their Muslims as if they are attacking Islam. No, Muslim brothers, come. Is now the problem is general Islam. Defend. When you foolishly, the indigenous population that are Muslims, when they foolishly come and say, okay, we are defending Islam, after everything, who will come out victorious? Fulani, the caliphate. That time you continue crying, they are still killing us, they are wiping our families, we are even Muslims, they are killing us. Because you are foolish. Because you are foolish. They sabi more than you. They are smarter than you. Continue listening, please.
Therefore, no foreign power can do it now, after more than 60 years of independence. 2. The Sharia system is an integral part of our constitution, which, in recognition of everybody's right to religious freedom, provided for 3 legal systems, namely the British common law, the Sharia personal law, and the customary law.
Listen, what this man said, he contradicted himself. Let me play it again, please. Let me repeat here. Listen.
After more than 60 years of independence. 2. The Sharia system is an integral part of our constitution. Do
you know why he said Sharia law is integral part of Nigeria constitution? Do you remember Bosun? Do you remember? Do you remember when this man, who made that constitution? Abdul Salam Abubakar. Do you remember Sharia was mentioned in the Nigerian constitution many times, Islam many times, Quran many times, no mention of Christianity, because they did that time. You indigenous people and Christian moguls, you don't know. They knew where they were heading to, that the time will come, and they will use it in making statements. And that is what they say, Sharia is mentioned in the Nigerian constitution, and it's true. Now, why was Sharia mentioned? Whereas others are not. Don't you see that? What do you call it? Customary court. Normally, Sharia should fall under customary court. There shouldn't have been any particular mention of Sharia, because Sharia falls into customary. I don't know whether people are getting. These people, they are very trickish. But they particularly pinpointed the Sharia in the Nigerian constitution, so that when the time reaches like this, they will now bring it out to say, Sharia was mentioned, so don't touch it. What is customary court? It's about, settling of land issues, because you don't need to go to criminal code system to trouble judges. These are people that knows about the custom. That is people's custom, people's way of life. So Sharia should fall into that category without mentioning it by name in the Nigerian constitution. But they did that because they know the time like this will come, so they will pinpoint it. Do you see why they give them? Do you see why we call them the Sokoto Caliphate, the Fulani hegemony? Because in their own, they mention their own name. What is Sharia? Look, I have defined primary definition of Sharia. Let me go back again. Sharia is Islam's divine legal and ethical code derived from the Quran and the teachings and practices of Prophet Muhammad, guiding Muslims on spiritual, moral, and daily life, covering worship to family, finance, and criminal justice. So how can Sharia be going parallel to the Nigerian constitution or criminal law? Because Sharia covers it. I don't know whether people understand it, but the Nigerian indigenous people are fools. When I see their intellectuals, I laugh. They don't challenge nothing. They accept everything. They don't challenge nothing. I say Sharia covers everything, including criminal justice. So is a law, a part of life itself, way of life itself. There is no segregation as long as it is called application of Sharia. It covers both criminal justice. When you can sentence people to death in Sharia law, what does it mean? What again does it mean? The highest thing is law, using law to sentence somebody to death. In customary court, nobody, you cannot settle issues of criminal issues. No. For example, if somebody in the customary law, for example, in our land, if somebody maybe in the same family or kindred goes to steal, go to the farm and still harvested yams that have been put outside in farms waiting to be evacuated. Now you go to your farm and see that some of the yams have been taken. You come out, go and talk to the village, I join here, man, no bad thing have happened. Thief, this and that. Now, it could be settled using customary courts, if need be. You can also go to the Nigerian court and, sue. As you don't know, but most importantly, the villagers, as long as it's villagers, they can say, okay, how do you settle this? Okay, we go and swear oath. Do you see that? That is customary. That is traditional. Normal. It doesn't affect people's sentencing people to death, putting people in jail. No, that is the work of the criminal justice system. When it comes to maybe divorce, marriage, settling marriage issues, this and that, somebody divorced and his bride price need to be returned, they will go to customary court. Now, these are things that should be settled by customary court. Normally, in the Nigerian constitution, Sharia in a name shouldn't have been mentioned. Because that is the problem, and this is what this man is quoting today. Their system in the north should have fallen into or under customary court. Finish. customary courts for everybody. But not to, but what is your custom? Okay, you can establish your custom, but it will not trespass. Finish. That is it. But they go into Sharia. Sharia covers every facet of life in their system. That is how it is. But the Nigerians know this, the indigenous people know, because they are Mugus. Please continue listening.
In recognition of everybody's right to religious freedom.
Now, he says in recognition of everybody's right to religious freedom. You see these people. This takia is real. That is diplomacy. That is manipulation, the caliphate manipulation. They use religious freedom and say, okay, we want Sharia under democracy. This is democracy. This is democracy. They cry. They use democracy in order to enter. Once they enter, now they unleash who they are. That is what. Immediately, 1999, they started agitating for Sharia. Say, it is democracy. That is how we want to live. And that is democracy. Remember what happened in Egypt in 2011. They say, Mubarak is a dictator, this and that. Well, the people, whereas many Muslim brotherhoods that are terrorists, they were inside the jail. Mubarak don't negotiate, he jails them, keep them inside, because he know who they are. But due to the Arab Spring, the peoples rise up. They say they use that sentiment immediately. They know when to strike. You see these people. They now use that sentiment. Say, we are democracy. Yeah. We are people of God. That is the Muslim Brotherhood. We are people of God. Now, if we enter into power, this is democracy. If we enter into power, we will make here become heaven. We will make it become Jannah. Heaven on this earth. We will do this, we will do that. Everybody, there will be religious freedom. Everyone. People use that sentiment and voted them in, not knowing that they are voting for problem. In Egypt, when Morsi entered into power under Muslim Brotherhood, they didn't know that he's a concentrated terrorist. He started calling Al-Qaeda terrorists from all over the world to come into Egypt, that they are now in power. The voice of Egyptian president was heard on people's telephone that we are bugged, terrorist phones that we are bugged by secret services listening to, and they were shocked. They have to take the transcript and send it to the Egyptian secret service. Say, look, your president, this is your president. He has direct interactions with terrorists, calling them to come to Egypt. You could remember that time there were every time bomb blasts in Sinai Peninsula. Bomb blasts killing Coptic Christians. Every day. Is it not democracy? But the Egyptian military, they say, my goodness me. So, it's just like Buhari being in office. Egypt is an Arab country. Muslim majority. But they reject Islamic Brotherhood. They have to do everything. They didn't massage words about it. They didn't paint their words. The Egyptian military hierarchy issued a stern warning to the president and say he must hold another election. Just after a few months, people started protesting that no, they rose up people protest in Egypt. I mean the military. That's no, what is going on in Egypt, killing, bomb and this and that. Now, it gave the military the excuse they want. They came out to warn the president that the people don't want him. He must hold another election or step down. The man came out, hey, no, this is democracy. Just as these people are saying now. It's a secular, Nigeria is a secular state under democracy. That is the excuse they always use. That is the caliphate manipulations. Egypt they don't tolerate. You know, after all, the Boko Haram patron ruled Nigeria for 8 years in the name of Buhari, late Buhari. Nigerians were only crying. They are killing us. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. He institutionalized the terrorism. That is, he escalated the terrorism. We put Esa Pantami, a non-terrorist that is known worldwide, to be in charge of Nigerian population's data, private data. Nothing happened. People were just murmuring. When we talk it, shout it, people say, bring the IPOB to kill. Now, this man is using the same takia. The same thing. Continue listening.
Provided for 3 legal systems, namely the British common law, the Sharia personal law, and the customary law. 3.
What is the difference between customary law and the Sharia? Sharia normally should fall in the category of customary. But they mention, that is where it pains me. Nigerians, they don't care. They don't care. If anything is they say Igbo man live, the Igbo people, they are propaganda, IPOB propaganda. It should be the legal system of Nigeria, the criminal justice system, and the customary law. Finish. No mention. There shouldn't have been mention of Sharia. This is where catastrophe. And they purposely put it. Remember, Babangida dipped hand into the Nigerian coffers and removed $21 billion and gave to IOIC for the complete extermination of other religions. Christianity underlined. Nigerians they don't care. They are speaking Christian. Nigerian non-Muslims, indigenous population, we are speaking big grammar. Looking for posts, political posts, and looking for money, shopping for money. Whereas these people, we are grabbing everywhere. Please continue listening.
Moreover, the Constitution allowed for concurrent powers that gives states the power to make laws affecting any of the concurrent list, of which enacting Sharia law is a part of. 4. Unless the Constitution of our country and its democratic federalism is going to be trampled on.
Democratic federalism. Does Nigeria have true federalism? No. Does Nigeria have a federalism? It's on paper only. It's on paper. He say now true federalism. Where is the federalism? The Fulani Caliphate hegemony and the manipulations. They are ongoing.
The plot to force the federal government to pressure state governments to abolish the Sharia system and Hizbah is not wise. 5. The Sharia system has never been imposed on any non-Muslims in Nigeria.
Do you see how they lie blatantly on national television? No challenges. The other day I played a clip of an Igbo man in Abuja, capital city of Nigeria, the administrative capital, that was tried under Sharia law he didn't know nothing about in the capital. And they confiscated his shop, which he built. Why? Because one of his tenants did business, I don't know, he owed them, and they came, instead of targeting the shop itself, maybe collecting their goods there, they didn't do that. Instead, they confiscated the house, whereas the house does not belong to the shop does not belong to the man. He's a tenant. The real owner was shouting that they say this is Sharia. On, I think, is it today's news, I saw where they confiscated a lorry carrying thousands and thousands of alcoholic beverages. They destroyed them and confiscated the lorry to hand over to Hisbah police. They say it does not affect non-Muslims. They killed Deborah Samuel. They stoned and burnt her to death. She is not a Muslim. And these people are standing lying. Nigerians are listening. This is how they roll. Their audacity is enabled because of the stupidity of the indigenous population, the gullibility they have. The only thing know how to speak grammar, tag face against IPOB and finish. The main thing they should rise up nowhere. This man is standing and lying. Who are the owners of the beer bottles? How can you implement Sharia in any part of Nigeria without affecting other people? How? Tell me how. No, tell me how. You know, people are saying that there is problem in Nigeria. I said no, Nigeria is the problem, honestly. Please continue listening because I'm going to bring in Mazi. Please continue listening.
6. The blasphemy law is not a religious law, but a law enacted by a respective state assembly.
What is blasphemy law? It says it's not a religious law. What is it? What is blasphemy law then? If you say it's not a religious law, Mazi, please, Mazi, can you hear me, please? If you want, you are laughing at the background.
These people can just lie with straight face.
Mazi, you are saying you are laughing, but they are dead serious. They are dead serious.
Seriously.
Because Nigerians are gullible. They don't. No, everybody is going on his private business. They don't care. If you talk to him, he say, "Oh boy, now happen and do go I beg. He can't beg." Buy Kumi life in a country that everybody is part and parcel of. They say it doesn't affect, that the blasphemy is not a religious law.
As they are doing this thing.
Yes.
The question is, you ask himself, is it blasphemy against the governor or against the president? It's against who? The person that they kill people for blasphemy against. Is it a religious figure or not? I don't know what they think people are. Earlier on in the same voice, in the same audio you are playing, it says that Nigeria's federal whatever allows the governors to enact laws. You know, the question is, when the governor of Benue State enacted anti-grazing law, was he not enabled by the constitution to enact that law? Why did they openly oppose it and kill people because of that law? You see, this is how they do it gradually, and it becomes embedded in the mind of the people because the people keep quiet. The same thing they are doing now with the word middle belt. There is no such thing as middle belt. And they try to tie, being a northerner to being a Muslim by asking, if you say that Plateau and these are players and Nasarawa are middle belt, how about our Muslim brothers who are there? Since when does religion define you are this thing? I don't even know how to say it. You are the name of your territory. Since when? As if middle belt is, they are even now referring to it as a new name. Middle belt that has existed as a name even before Nigeria's independence, flag independence, since the 50s. Even Lord Lugard, Frederick Lugard, referred to the place as a middle belt, or in the entire place as Plateau. But today, they are writing it gradually. What people don't know is that the more you write things, the more you post things, the more you make videos about them, the algorithm is picking it. One day, you will go to the internet search, either AI or anything, and search it, and AI will tell you that there's something like middle belt.
That is why the people of Middle Belt need to get up, need to wake up. When these people say these things, post these things, counter them so that the history and algorithm will know that there was time that when they said these things, the real people of Plateau countered it with facts. Some of the things you are seeing here will become obsolete if you are not countering them. The old information that you think is there to counter them will become obsolete. These people are not joking. They say it nicely and calmly and as if you don't know what they are doing. Lying with straight face. Like you rightly mentioned about Deborah and the people whose alcohol beverage are destroyed, and the man whose shop has, was taken away from him, using the same law, and you tell me it's not going to be affected, it's not going to be applied on anybody, and it has not been applied on anybody. Hey.
Mazi, look at like in our customary law in the East. We don't allow farm animals to roam around. It's against our tradition because it destroys people's properties, farm produce. And, I could remember when, you have people, even from the local government, that goes around catching any goats they see, loitering. It is against our tradition, and it is implemented. When they take it, you go and pay fine. They warn you, you pay fine. Now, but these people will come and impose that they don't respect even our own law. They carry their cows, move around everywhere, destroying farms, blocking roads, which is against our custom. When they say no, they must do it. Go and do ranching. They say no. It is so they impose their own thing on you by force.
Mazi, I have a question, Mazi.
Go on.
The question I have is: Does your religious? Now I want the especially the people of Middle Belt and the Yoruba people to listen to this question carefully. Does your religion replace your ethnicity? Does your religion replace your ethnicity? Your customary laws, is it supposed to be tied to religion or to your ethnicity? So you are telling me, if I'm a Nupe man, I'm a Biro man, I am a Yoruba man, just because I become a Muslim, the laws about my inheritance, the laws about my land use, the law about my burial, the law about everything that has to do with the custom of my ethnicity should now be relinquished to a religion. This is why the last time we spoke here, we called this thing a religious emasculation. They do this and they make you feel different from your kin and kind. From people, if you are a Yoruba man, for example, in the same family, you are Yoruba man, father, mother, Muslim, and you have 6 brothers, 5 sisters, whatever, and you alone decide to become a Muslim. What they are saying is that your customary law as one Muslim in the family of 11, as a Yoruba man, should be that of the Arab, not that of a Yoruba people. So, should your religious affiliation replace your ethnicity, and especially in the law that governs how you should live and how your things that relating to your own well-being should be governed and administered? Mazi, that's my question.
Mazi, and this question, it shows how invasive these foreign religions are. Most importantly, you see this Islam. It's highly invasive. It doesn't tolerate any other. It doesn't tolerate any other thing. That is why they call it, you see, Sharia law. They say it is divine law. So, anything that they say is divine, Mazi, run from that thing or run from that place. It is divine, which means nothing to challenge it. So who are you to challenge divine something? Nah. They say it's not me, it's not a... That's why, Mazi, do you see, even this men of God, God call me. Mazi, you run, soccer, you run, let your leg be touching your head, please, your back. Because there is nothing, you are nothing to the person, or you are nobody. He have taken over. Anything he says is divine pronunciation. That is how they behave. That is this man, how they are. These people, that is how they do. The caliphate. So, who are you to question divine authority? Mazi, let me tell you something. When you study the European Revolution, I keep on pinpointing all these revolutions. They question divine authority. That word, divine, because that is what has been killing them. That is what has been subjugating the population, the European population during the medieval period, subjugating them. They cannot rise or anything. They say no, it is divine. No, divine authority. Their monarchy is God send them. Their clergy, it is God, the men of God. God say, so you don't question them, or it's God you are questioning. You want to question God? So the population continued the suffering until the time came. People started, the preaching continued. That time there was nothing like even television or radio, anything. Through private discussions and write-ups, so those that are that can have access to reading some books, and they'll start talking it. Now this divine, we are suffering. We are the population working. Whereas these monarchs, these feudalists on top of us, they don't have no problem. They live large. We pay taxes and we live poor like church rats. Even the church clergy, they are living flamboyant lives. But anytime you want to, they say, no, this is divine. So they started questioning that word, divine. What is divine about it? That we continue suffering. That is when the European population rose up. When people used to ask, the religion in Europe and the one in Africa is not the same. Why? But it's the same religion, but it's not practiced the same. It is because the people of Europe, they rose up against that divine authority. They questioned it. They said, no, we are human beings, for goodness sake. Who are you? Please, how do you listen to the divine from the divine? Tell me. I'm a human being. This are scamming. They are scamming the population. And they rose up spontaneously. That was when we are the humiliated, brought down, nothing divine again in Europe. Nothing. No person can, they will come out in public and either say I'm divine, divine authority. Who are you? You go to jail. This is what these people are invoking. So it's very dangerous. And this is why, Africans, Nigerians are subjugated, because they take divine. Oh, this divine is a man of God. Don't talk. We are all human, for goodness sake. The caliphate is manipulating everybody. Let me continue playing, please. Because Mazi, after you come in, and feel free anywhere you want to come in, please. As I continue playing, please.
Please. In order to preserve peace and harmony. 7. The Sharia system has no connection whatsoever with the different types of insecurity issues.
Sharia has no connection with insecurity. Mazi. Whereas Boko Haram is keeping the law, he wants Sharia to be spread all over Nigeria. Yours is the law of God, the law of Allah. Islamic State of West Africa, the same thing. La Kurawa, the same. All the terrorists say they have no connection with Sharia, which is lie from the pit of hell. These people lie and get away with it because the people they are dealing with are gullible. They can be buyable, manipulable. Bishop Kuka, I don't know what happened. It's talking from both sides of his mouth in order to keep his position. I don't know. The High Centrali of Benue State, the same thing. Because he is put there by the caliphate, so he cannot cough. He has to keep his position. So you come to lie? You see?
Happening in Nigeria. 8. The Hizbah institution has never engaged in any type of arrest.
Look at what they are saying. Hizbah institution, they arrest the people, they confiscate materials of people, and even they sentence people into cutting off their hands, because that is Sharia. I will, I don't know whether, let me just play a bit and stop and make my comment now. You come in, please. Just
an unarmed organization concerned only with the enforcement of Sharia moral laws within the ambit of the national law.
What is the ambit of Nigerian law where people are stoned to death for blasphemy? Tell me. Is the ambit of Nigerian law, and people are listening to this crap? They are giving legitimacy to it. It's very sad.
Therefore, on behalf of all the 40 Islamic organizations that form the Zamfara State Muslims League, we hereby state the following. 1. We in Zamfara State are more than 99% Muslims.
How do they see that? Do you see what they do? Let me just say something a bit. I want to list some of the countries that practice classic Sharia law in this world, just some of them. One is Saudi Arabia. Listen, Saudi law prohibits citizens from converting from Islam and punishes apostasy with death. That is, apostasy is conversion from Islam, changing from Islam to any other religion, maybe to Christianity. The Sharia law there is you must be killed. You understand? Somebody can convert from another religion to Islam and they praise the Allah, but you can never, once you are there, Togo, you can never convert from or return from Islam to any other religion. That is it. That is Sharia. It's in Saudi Arabia. It is working for them, making the percentage of native Christian Saudis officially Christian. There is no Christians in Saudi. There are no Christians in Saudi Arabia according to official record. The only thing is that millions of expatriate workers, mainly from America, Europe, Asia, and Africa, live in the kingdom, forming a significant Christian population, estimated around 2.1 million in 2022. But public Christian worship is restricted, and persecution for secret believers is a reality in Saudi Arabia, a country that is practicing Sharia law, because Sharia is about wholesomeness to Islam. Do you see that? So how can you allow this type of law to be inside a secular country, living side by side with others? When we talk about the North, there are different other religions other than Muslims. There are traditionalists. There are other tribes other than Fulani or Hausa. Even Hausa, there are Hausa Christians both in Zamfara, but they have claimed that Zamfara has more than 99% Islam, which is a lie. It's not real, because these people, they like to claim bogus claims, so that when you come out to talk, say no, na lie, I'm a Christian, they will kill you. That is Sharia for you. Therefore, I'm talking about Saudi. Public practice of Christianity is banned. And while authorities have become slightly more lenient for private worship among expatriates, persecution remains, especially for Saudi citizens who convert, because that is against the Sharia. This is the same Sharia this man is talking that, oh no, it doesn't mean anything. No. Now, but why it doesn't matter is these people, this is a separate country of itself. Had it been the caliphate is a separate country, we will not worry. It's their country. If you want to go, and after all, there are some Igbo people that are in Saudi Arabia, for goodness sake. There are some expatriates, some non-Muslim there. Before you go there, you tell them, you declare, I'm a Christian, I am a non-Muslim. They say no problem. But for their citizen to convert is death penalty. That is it. That is the difference. So you see, there is no way you can coexist with this type of people. And the people are talking no Christian genocide. No, Sharia is hostile to other religions, mostly Christianity. For your information, it is hostile to it. So how can you prove? How can you tell me that there is no Christian genocide in place where there is Sharia? And they started with six states in the north for Sharia. Now they have reached up to 12. They will continue coming down to the south in the guise of defending Muslims in the south of the Sharia. It's just for only Muslims. So this is how they come, how they move. You give them 1 meter, they will take 100 kilometers immediately. Now, another country that practices Sharia is Iran. Let me read a bit. There are Christians in Iran, yes, including long-established Armenian, Chaldean, and Assyrian communities. These are Iranians, Armenian, Chaldean, and Assyrian communities, as well as a growing, often persecuted underground church of converts from Muslim backgrounds, with total numbers estimated from under 100,000 to potentially over 500,000. Though, Iranian Muslim converts face severe penalties, that is death. The same thing, the same Sharia, the same characteristics. I want to tell I'm showing you the characteristics of Sharia that have death penalty for conversion. If you are a Muslim, you want to convert and say, no, I want to test another religion, it's death penalty. Are you getting it? It's a common thing in Sharia. This is what this man is laundering the image to Nigerians that are gullible. Now another country is Yemen. There are Christians in Yemen, though they are a tiny minority, less than 1%, in the predominantly Muslim country, comprising indigenous converts, often from Islam, expatriates, workers, and refugees, with groups like Ethiopian Orthodox Catholics, Anglicans, and Protestants present. But they face risks and often don't identify publicly due to persecution fears. Do you see that? In a Sharia, other religions are afraid. They don't even identify publicly. Converts from Islam face severe persecution, that is death penalty. Now, another country is Mauritania. Christians in Mauritania, especially converts from Islam, face heavy persecution, including social ostracization, pressure from families and communities, legal restrictions on evangelism, and potential prosecution for blasphemy or apostasy, because blasphemy is part of Sharia. What this man is trying to lie his ass off. But you can get away with anything as long as the caliphate is concerned. Are the indigenous people, do they care? The country is official, I'm talking of Mauritania, the country is officially an Islamic republic where Islam is deeply integrated into law, making open Christian practice and conversion from Islam very, very difficult. Now, another one is Afghanistan. Christians are in Afghanistan, yes, but they are a tiny, mostly secret minority, predominantly converts from Islam, living in extreme danger. The Afghan government severely restricts religious freedom and consider apostasy from Islam a capital offense, that is death, making open practice impossible. While estimates vary widely, hundreds of thousands, these communities operate in secret, fearing violence, forced conversion, and imprisonment with no official recognition outside of foreign expatriates. Now, with all these facts, how can we peacefully coexist and live in the same country with Sharia law when this man is lying? Please, let me finish playing it before Mazi, you take over.
We were just to implement the Sharia system in 1999. We want all and sundry to know that we are comfortable with the system and we will never allow it to be tampered with. 2, the request of Dr. Obadere is not based on any expertise, but on biasness and Islam.
Do you see the energy these people come out with in order to confront Donald Trump's insinuation about Christian genocide and the cause and the fighting terrorism? Why not our Nigerians ask them, had it been they use this energy to come out to fight this their terrorism or terrorists? Do you think that by now it will still be there? No. But what you are seeing is they are the caliphate, the Sultan of Sokoto, the head of this caliphate. They are directly supporting these terrorists. They know everything. They are directly supporting it. They are sponsoring it. You understand? You know, when somebody is doing something, you know, you are not, for example, a direct participant, but you are happy because it's for you. He is defending your thing, and that is how the caliphate works. They manipulate the indigenous population, even the Muslim indigenous population. When you see that, oh, say they are killing Muslims too, it is programmed. It is part of it. Like this man now, he come out to tell Muslims, even non-Fulanis, in order to that are Muslims, come out, defend Islam. No, nobody is attacking Islam. But they use this narrative in order to coerce, intimidate, or rally other non-Fulani Muslims in order to come to fight their war for them, their battle for them. That is how they move. When they finish, now the Fulani will turn against them. Say, you people are Muslims, but Islam is not enough. Come on, they kill all of them. That is how these are the manipulations. They're now using, Islam. Donald Trump wants to attack Islam. What is Sharia? Sharia. This is how the indigenous people in, I think, Sokoto or Zamfara went and invited, brought in the Lukrawa people, these Fulani terrorists also. Say, we are all Muslims, you know, this and that. They brought them, foreign Fulani, armed. With the help of the local Fulani, they go and bring them. They harbored them, gave them anything they want. And, you know, when these terrorists sat down well in their community, they started ransacking the community. Say, they turn against the community. The people say, but we are all Muslims. Say, come on, think we come here to play. They ransacked the village and killed them and took away their land till today. That is how they behave. They will come and use Islam. They are attacking Islam. Everybody, here come. Even Yoruba Muslims, you will see that man that used to the head of Murik or chairman of Murik. He's a Yoruba man. He will talk. He defend it. This is how they use you. They use people. They know how to manipulate. These are their manipulations.
Trying to please Sokoto.
Exactly. Exactly. When I see that man, I used to vex. Say, look at these foot soldiers, useless foot soldiers. You know. They will come and say, hey, they defend Islam. But when they use them to get what they want, they turn against them, clear them, and take over their lands and say, you are fools. This is how they behave. You see, this announcement that is being made, they will gather not only Fulani, even maybe the person that is making the announcement might be even an Hausa, indigenous person, or even any other tribe that is not Fulani. They know how to play this politics. They will be at the background. But, you know, manipulating them like marionettes. No, go and fight. This is Islam. Go and fight. Go and defend Islam. Go and defend. Go and defend. Talk. They will, but when they finish the battle, when the remuneration comes, now they relegate them, either kill them or they carry phone and put on top of everybody. Say, you guys go to hell. That time no person can help them again. It is too late. That is how they behave. Mazi, let me finish playing it, please, and you come in.
Phobia. 3. The U.S. has no business meddling in the international affairs of our country, or act as a custodian of a certain religion, or start a new crusade against Islam, with Nigeria as its first victim.
Do you see how the role is saying that Donald Trump is fighting Islam? He is trying to touch the sentiment of other non-Fulani Muslims to come out. That is how they behave. Mazi, these people are, I don't know, they are very shrewd. They are politically savvy. Oh, come and defend Islam. Oh. US is coming to attack. That is what that animal Sheikh Gumi has been saying. No, he's attacking Islam. He's a crusade. You know, they are using these keywords in order to instigate others, so that when they come after fighting the battle, for example, it is the Fulani Caliphate that will win. They will take over everything, continue subjugating everybody, turning them into Almajiris and taking positions, everything, and rendering them powerless.
4. We emphatically affirm that Muslims in Nigeria will not stand by and look while a foreign power dismantles the Sharia system just to make some anti-Islamic Christians happy.
Mazi, let me stop here because this clip I'll play it also maybe another day. Mazi, please, you can come in now because time is not in our favor. You can come in, please, because you know the indigenous people, both in the north, even Muslim indigenous populations in Nigeria that are non-Fulanese, they should be wise by now. They should be wise by now. Check those that are being murdered, that are even Muslims that are being killed. Who is killing them? The same Fulani terrorists. They are Muslims, they don't care. They don't care. When you help them achieve their goal, killing the infidel, now they turn against you. You know, stop moving around being programmed to hate IPOB, or to start fighting against yourself using, you know, this is TV, this is this and that, this is Bureau. No, these are the machinations of the caliphate. Mazi, please come in there. Come in. Go on, Mazi.
Thank you very, very much, Mazi Jonathan. You have done a lot of justice to the discussion so far. You have done a lot of justice. Yes, Mazi Jonathan, sorry for that. Like I said, thank you for doing a lot of justice to that discussion. Like I said earlier in my introduction, my brothers and sisters of the Middle Belt, some of you don't know why sometimes I am very particular about Middle Belt and Plateau. If you don't know, let me tell you today. I am your in-law. My wife is from Shandam. My wife is a Gmai. So she's from Plateau, and whenever anything happens in Middle Belt, I am touched. That is why I like talking about this. And in the course of many years ago, I happened to, school in one of the greatest African country in the late 90s. And when I was schooling in this university, the Kwame Nkrumah University in Ghana, I fell in love with the tradition of the Ghana people, and I began to research about the Asante people amongst whom I reside at that time. I learned a very beautiful history of the Asante people. And I began to think about it in line with what the people of Middle Belt are going through. And I feel that there is a lot the Middle Belters can learn. And when I say Middle Belt, I hope we know the areas that truly comprises of Middle Belt, even though they have lost Kwara, and the Yorubas have really lost Kwara again. So even if we talk about the Middle Belt as we know it today, we should be able to understand the people that are involved, the people of Benue, the people of Nasarawa, the people of Plateau, the people of Kaduna, Southern Kaduna, if you like to say now, the people of Nasarawa, these are all Benue people. Now, to understand this history of these people, The Ashanti that all of us hear today, everywhere here, Ashanti, they were first being subjugated by another kingdom that I'm sure many of you have not even heard of because of what the Ashantis did. If they had not done that, you probably would have been hearing of that kingdom today. And that kingdom is called the Denchira Kingdom. The Denchira Kingdom were a very, very oppressive, foolish kingdom amongst the people of Akan. And when I say Akan belongs, the Asantis belong to the same tribe and ethnic group as the Akan people. So these are basically brothers oppressing brothers. And they did that for years. Why? Because they had a pact with the British colonialists, and they have to supply the British colonialists with slaves and gold. And the Ashantis have a lot of gold. So they invade them, they force them, they get their gold, and they begin to oppress them as much as they want. They force the Ashantis to go get slaves for them and supply it to them so they can supply to the colonialists and make money. This is what they were doing. They come to Ashanti and ask them to pay tribute and so many things, very oppressive. In fact, to the extent that every year, all the kings of the areas that they were dominating have to bring their wives and their guards to the Denchira Palace. And the wives of those kings will spend a month or so with the king of Denchira. By the time they leave, most of them are pregnant. That is how wicked and oppressive this kingdom was. But what happened? Somewhere in around 1690, a very wise king came. Osetutu. A very wise king came. This wise king was trained in the palace of the Denchira kingdom. This is very similar to probably the story of Moses. This wise king, as every other king that have ruled those communities that later become the Asantis, if you are in line to become a king, you have to go to the Denchira kingdom for you to be trained so that you will understand how to rule before you are sent back. So when you send back to become a king in your town, you have an allegiance to the Denchira kingdom. That's how they were manipulating them emotionally and coercing them by force. But what did these people do? Osetutu felt that this thing, when is it going to stop? Because the Denchira kingdom defeated another very strong people called the Adansis. The Adansis now were also being stooged to the Denchira kingdom to oppress the other towns made of the same brothers. One day, Osetutu said, no, this is not going to work. How long are we going to do this? When he ascended the throne, he and his friend, Okomfanoch, or other people, call other kings and say, come, let's sit down and talk. Because if we don't come together, we may not even exist to maintain these our thrones. It is important that we come together. And these people, these kings, representing very powerful clans, 8 clans, and when you hear a clan, there are people who have the right to make and install their own kings. Sometimes we think that when you hear a tribe, it means that they speak different languages. You can be the same language and have different tribes, as long as you have different clans with the ability to govern yourself and autonomous, basically. But it's a bit larger than a clan. Now, these clans came together. The Bekwai of Finsu Mampong, Juaben Ejusu, Nsuta Kwamai, and Esumenya, these 8 clans and their kings came together and have a meeting. For months they were going and discussing. They all agree, okay, we are going to come together as a confederacy, and we're going to choose one king to be ahead of all of us. We are going to surrender our right for diplomacy and declaration of war to that king. But we will reserve our right to make our own king, install our own king, and we will not pay allegiance to that king, but to the spiritual stool, which most of you might know as a golden stool. They came together, they made the arrangement, and they chose the king of Kwamang to be their main king. That is how that confederacy was forged. They went from there and began to now discuss how to arrange themselves. I'm sharing these things with you so that you will understand that organizing yourself is not easy. But there has to be a very, very, very deliberate effort. There has to be intentional, deliberate effort. For you need to understand, contrary to some of your religious beliefs of miracle, that for every effect that you can see real, there is a cause that is equally as real. You cannot expect a corn to spring up without that effort of planting, which is a real effort. That you must understand. So these people went into this confederacy and they forged that unity. And guess what? When the king of Denchira heard that these people have come together and they now have what they call a golden stool, and he said he sent his people, say, go to these people and collect from them golds and tell them to send their wives with you. That is how foolish they can be. These people said, no, my wife is not going. And in return to the gold he asked for, they gave them stone. They went back and they told this king. He got angry. He organized his army. He came for these people, and guess what? They defeated him for the first time. And that spelled the end of that kingdom till today. And that was in 1701, in the battle called the Battle of Fayasi. 1701, they destroyed them. But they couldn't have done it as Aguna. They couldn't have done it as Bekwai. They couldn't have done it as Ofinsu, or as Mampong, or as Joabeng, or as Nsuta. They did it as a confederacy. They came together, and some of them have to relinquish. Now, let me make this point. I know it's difficult. The king of Wukari may say, oh, my throne is older than that of Shaldas, the king of Shandam. The king of Jos, Bongon Jos, may say his throne is older than that of, Southern Kaduna. And these people, as far back as late 1600, these people have the wisdom of saying, you know what? Oh, I know some of you, your kingship is older than this one, you are still older than this one. Come together. It's okay. Family, it's part of it. Now, these people decided that, you know what? All of you bring your stool. Contrary to many traditions, in the Ashanti tradition, the symbol of authority is not a crown. It's a stool upon which you sit. So they brought all their stool, and the stool was buried. And a new symbol of authority was invented, which is called the golden stool, for which all the kings pay allegiance to. And as such, no king can claim to be senior than the other, but their history as a people started on that very day. That is why you hear the name Asante. The Asante means because of war. Because of war. So Osa is a singular word for war. Asa is the plural for war. Nti means because of. So Asante means because of wars. The British wrongfully write it as Ashanti. It's Asante. These people came together. If you have heard of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, his name, Osajifo, was a title given by the Asante people as one who fought a battle to redeem the people, which is the battle that he fought to get the independence. So these are the things that they had to do. They buried their ego. This is something that every indigenous people that want to survive this carnage must do. Especially, like I always say, the people of the Middle Belt. You are fragmented. You are fighting them individually, as Birom, as Kwala, as Ngas. You are not going to survive. You can't survive. You will not survive if you don't put yourself together. A traditional sort of confederacy, you need to think towards that line. Because if you do not do that, if you can't find a way to think about something that is bigger than the current throne you are occupying, the current position that you are occupying, you will have no throne in few years to come. Many of you have lost it. Many of you have lost that throne already. Many communities, now we're talking about Middle Belt, we can't even talk about the Middle Belt before, in the late 50s. Because the Middle Belt in the late 50s is not what it is today. The geography is there, but trust me, most of the areas you cannot even reclaim even if you want to. For how long will you fight as Tarok, as Birom, as Magavu? For how long? They fragment you and take you in piecemeals. This is what they do, and that is why you need to counter that. That's why they are able to do that, because they have come together. Every king in the northern Nigeria that is a Fulani owes his direct allegiance to the Caliphate. The Sultan of Sokoto is the only person who can make declaration on behalf of the Muslims. The Sultan of Sokoto is the only person who is seen as a king of all the kings. They all maintain their territory, but that particular form of religious confederacy is what have made them so formidable, and you cannot fight them fragmented. You cannot. That is a reality you have to face. So instead of you sitting and driving to the state capital every month to go and take your allocation as if there's no bank account anymore, you need to start thinking about how to come together. You have to come together as a people. Decide yourself. How do you want to be? How do you want to survive? It may not be a Birom confederacy. It may not be an Ngas confederacy. It may not be a Bassa confederacy. You can find a new name. It may not even be a Middle Belt. You can find a name traditionally. When I'm talking about traditional, I'm talking about the traditional people, traditional rulers. If they are not hearing, take this movement, start it and take it to them. Let them know this is the only way you can survive. The Asantes did it. And today, I am mentioning Asante without explaining too much because you know them. They are one of the most populous kingdoms in the whole of Africa. In fact, in the whole world. You can't mention few kingdoms in the world without mentioning Asantes. You can't. They are one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful kingdom today in Ghana. But there was allegiances. They had to come together. They have to relinquish certain ego and pride. They have to put the interest of the entire people ahead of interest of few people. That is what they did, and that is what you must do. Whether Birom has more population than Jukun, whether Jukun has more population than Mben, whether Mben has more population than Birom, it doesn't matter. Whether your throne is older than whether you migrated before the other, it does not matter at this time. And what you need is your survival, and not just survival, it is to make sure that nobody bullies you. Guess what? You are peace-loving people. Yes, the Asantis were. The Asantis were farmers. Very peace-loving people. Very peace-loving. They don't like war. Before they have become one of the most powerful kingdom in Ghana. You need to learn from them. You need to learn from them, because it is important that you learn from history, or else that history will repeat itself, and this time around not on the people but on you. What would be wrong if the king of Bukari becomes the head of that confederacy? What would be wrong if the king of Jos becomes the head? What will be wrong even if the king of some tiny village somewhere becomes? It doesn't matter, as long as it is strategically placed. As long as you understand the strategy. And guess what? Now that they have deliberately made political officers to be the ones who decide who should be king and who should be removed, with this kind, they not born them well, no governor, because they know the power that you wield as a group. They know, and you have to stop this. The lantern people will be happy because they have secured their land. Nobody is coming. You are only strong because the others are still being eliminated.
So, Mazi, let me ask you, as somebody that is conversant with the Middle Belt, so you mean that all this, and I know that there are many different tribes and clans, even in the Middle Belt, so they are taking this Fulani incursion and war against them individually, fighting it individually as a people, as a different tribes, without being together, confronting it as a people. Do they hate themselves? What is your view? Do they hate themselves? Does a TV man hate a Biram, or a God person hate? Just can you shed more light on that, please?
Okay, Mazi. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Or let me say, fortunately, that's not the case. There is no tribe or ethnic group in Middle Belt that hate each other. In fact, there is none. I cannot think of any. They are just comfortable in their skin. That is why the earlier resistance that they put up has to be formed under the umbrella of Christianity. That is why they have to come together as Christians, because they were known as the pagan region before, during the colonial era. But when they begin to accept the missionaries, and during the early stage of this incursion and killings that they faced, they decided to form themselves under that Christian union, under that group. So many people refer to them as Christian. And now they have indeed become Christian, because that's the majority of the people there. But as for hate, None. I can speak to that without any fear of contempt.
Then why can't they come together and form a formidable force against this Fulani incursion and invasion?
Like I said, some of them, probably because they haven't thought of it, or maybe they cannot form that kind of union that will last. You know, forming that kind of united force once in a while, like when it in Yelwa Shandam 2004, for example, after the Muslims killed a lot of Christians, for the first time, all the tribes that surround Shandam, both people from Lantan South and North, people from Shandam, people from Ibi, you know, all the towns that surround it, they came together for the first time, had a meeting, discussed, organized, strategized, planned, and they retaliated against the Muslims of Yelwan Shandam, and it was decisive. It was that attack, you know, that reprisal that Pantami was making that preaching and was crying that he should be allowed to go to Shandam, that they should make him the commander. If you remember that broadcast, that you played a couple of times here. It was the aftermath of that reprisal that was born out of collective effort for the first time that made Pantami to cry. Now, they come together once in a while in that nature, but they have not been able to form something that has become stable, something that is forever, something that is going to be formidable. They have not been able to do that. You know, once they are done, everybody is done. And with that kind of coming together, you cannot sustain it. You can't sustain. These people are formidable. Their togetherness is forever, basically. So you cannot wake up, do something today, and then go and expect to come back tomorrow. No. By the time you regroup again, they have done. But if you are permanently organized, if you have a head, this is not going to happen. It is not going to happen. You see, like the case of the Ashantis, when Osetutu was becoming a king, he traveled to a town called Akwemu. These towns have strong and experienced warriors who are very experienced in warfare. He went there, he and his advisor Konfanoche went there, and they were able, for other reasons anyway, but I don't have to go into that. In the end, they came together with these Akwemu warriors and brought them into Kwamine, what is today known as Kumasi. Placed them somewhere that is today known as Edum. Kept them there, and they camped there to help train their forces. And they made them part of themselves. Now, the next thing they did was that they realized that because that Edum has a different king, the Asafo king, Asafoini, the king, is the one in charge of Edum. But there is another neighboring community with a different king that are populated by the people called the Dagombas from the north. These Dagombas are known to be very tall and fearless. By the way, their sentences are very short anyway. These Dagombas are known to be very tall and fearless. So the king thought it was that, you know what, let me carve out this territory and add it to the next territory. The place is called Bantama. So that it will be under one king. And these people, these fearless Dagombas, and these Akwemu warriors that we have brought, can be able to train together. The Asapoini did not say, hey, you are taking part of my land, though. You are giving my land. No, he understands the collective effort for the greater good. He allows it. And in order to make sure that the king also plays part in that, he made the king of that Asafu, the field marshal, the one in charge of the entire army. while the king of that Bantama becomes the war general who leads them to war. This is strategy. We're talking about 1600s, late 1600s. This is strategy. If these people can do it that long ago, what stops you from being better than that today? They didn't allow their ego. They didn't allow their individuality or the history behind their own throne to get in the way. They did not erase their identity. That you must understand. That unity did not require the erasing of their identity. Ejisu still maintains its identity. They decide who is their king. They do their own things. But when it comes to collective effort, something like war and so on, they must do it together. And it is permanent. It is unbreakable. What stops the people of Middle Belt from doing this? Like Mazi Jonathan rightly asked, you don't hate yourselves. You don't. You just lack unity. You just lack unity. And that you must do. That you must do. I don't know if you have anything you want to add before I move forward.
No, not really, because even because why as in order to understand why is it hard in the face of a common enemy. You know, in the case of we Biafrans, they turned everybody to hate Igbos. They turned even our own people, even Igbos, to hate their own comrade. You know, it is very, sometimes it's ununderstandable, because the worst thing that happens to a people is division. Once you are divided, you can never have a united front. That is the reality. And that is what the Fulani are using against any other people. And remember, if you study even the Fulani, at the early stage of their communal life, they had many clans in Fulani tribe, for your information.
Yeah.
They had many clans. What happened? They had internal wars among them. They killed themselves before imposing unity on themselves. The people that started all this thing is called the Torobe clan. Torobe clan of Fulani. And they are the people that fool Nigeria. They have been pursued from every other part of Africa. This particular clan, they are the extremists. They are the people that always impose on other Fulanis, and they are very dangerous. These are the people that are there. Why are they there? In order to take over everywhere. So, but it is the unity of a purpose, as Mazi says, as you said. This is what the Fulani hates, unity. That is why they keep on putting puppets that can be causing division. Even in our land, in Igbo land, this is something. They impose people that they know that we hate, that they don't care for us. They impose people on us, so that if we are talking one thing, they are talking another thing. You know, so that there will be no coordination. And without coordination, you cannot fight and win a war. It's impossible. You have to be coordinated, have a united front in order to move on into a battle. Otherwise, you'll be decimated. So, Mazi, I don't know if you have anything you conclude. Now we go into breaks before opening the line, please.
Okay, Mazi. Now, I want to talk about just two things, but very briefly. There is two things I want to call on the people of Plateau, the Middle Belt, and every indigenous people who are fragmented. First of all, the women have a serious role to play in this. Very, very, very serious role. Because in this same history of the Asante people, at the time when the colonial master was trying to defeat them after they have exiled their king, this same Osetutu, the colonial master was informed by one of the saboteurs that the Asantes have something they call the golden stool, and that if they take it away, the Asantes will be nothing. The colonial master, the governor, then came and demanded for that stool. After the exile of their king to Seychelles by the same governor, and when he mentioned that stool, the entire congregant went quiet. All the kings and chiefs were quiet, contemplating what to say, because he demanded some gold from them and they could not provide it. He said, okay, give me your golden stool. The only person who had the courage to request for audience and spoke decisively was Yaa Asantewaa, and she was a woman. She was a woman. At that time, her son was exiled together with King Osetutu I. Imagine her son is already exiled, which means he's not going to come back. Basically, he's dead to her. She herself does not fear death. In a time when she cannot even speak in that gathering, she spoke and spat on that colonial master and said to the men, if you are here and you allow these people, it's because they have exiled your king and you kept quiet. That is why they have the audacity to come back here and request for our golden stool. And you keep quiet. That is not going to happen. Let's fight them. If they kill us all, they will not know where the golden stool is. If we defeat them, we will protect our golden stool. She was willing to die, and she spoke up, and she was a woman. And this is in the late 1600s. Somebody will now come and tell us that they are teaching us women rights. In 2025, teaching us women rights, teaching us the right of women to lead. Second person I want to mention is in relation to sacrifice. Before the Asante Kingdom went to war to these people, to these hegemonic oppressors of the Denchira Kingdom, the chief priest, which is Okonfa-Anokye, divined that he was given the information that if they must win that war, there has to be a great sacrifice. Not sacrifice of chicken or just a commoner or a stranger or a slave. It has to be a sacrifice of a royal, somebody who is a king or a chief. If they don't offer such a great sacrifice, there cannot be victory. And that sacrifice will not be taken to a shrine and be killed. No, the person has to be prepared, and the person must present himself strategically to be killed in the war. And once the person is killed, the victory is assured. A chief known as Enchi Bosiaku gave up himself, voluntarily went to the battle, fought, and did exactly as he promised. And guess what? They defeated their oppressors. I am not saying you should go and kill yourself. If that is what is required, who am I to say no, you shouldn't, for the greater good of your people? But I'm just saying that if somebody can sacrifice his life, what are you doing with your ego? Why won't you sacrifice, the small autonomy you think you have? Surrender some of your authorities and ensure that you survive as a bunch, as a group of people. Why can't you? It is something that you can do. It requires sacrifice and foresight. And I'm sure the people of the Middle Belt are one of the most educated people you have, if not in the entire Nigeria. They are very, very educated, very smart people. If you don't see this as a smart move, I don't really know what you can do or what else you would do. You want them to pick you one by one and eliminate you before you realize it? No. That is not the right thing to do. The best thing to do is find a way to rally yourself around permanently. And who knows, maybe after that you can be able to secure a country of your own. If they want to give you a country, now how are you going to even start? If they will say, okay, because of this genocide, the people of Middle Belt come together and form your country. You will now start organizing yourself now. Until then, at what time will you be able to go? Now that we are going through our own as Biafrans, you think it's a joke? We've started in 1967. Stop for a while and continue. And it's still not a joke. We're still putting ourselves together. If you wait till next year, till next 2 years, do you think it will be easier? Because, like it or not, eventually, this Nigeria is going to break. And when it does, it's about those who position themselves right to have their own nationality where they can be saved. And those who don't, who are not prepared, will be swallowed by those who are prepared around them. The word they say for a wise is enough. Ndewo, Mazi Jonathan, and thank you all very much. Like Mazi Jonathan said, it is time to go on a break and hopefully some calls. Ndewo, Mazi.
Ndewo, thank you, and we are going to go to just a few minutes break so that when we come back, we open the lines, please. Do not go away. We'll be right back.
Ndewo no more Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. Please let's make a date with Mazi Nnamdi on Friday the 12th, December 2025, where he will be live on Radio Biafra at 7:30 p.m. Biafran time, discussing the 5 years of Eastern Security Network relentless effort in dismantling the killer Fulani herdsmen in Biafran territory. Also, there will be a call for Nigeria disintegration through a UN-supervised referendum exercise. Finally, Biafrans, there will be other insecurity-related issues that will be discussed. Please don't forget to inform others. Friday 12, December 2025 is the day, 7:30 p.m. Biafran time. Stay tuned on Radio Biafra. All the things to do, we can think of what you told us.
Nation. With the benefit of hindsight, this does not come as a surprise. Past American governments had once announced that Nigeria would break by 2015. When that did not happen, after 10 years, they are now taking deliberate steps to make it happen. It seems like the plot they are working on is to instigate a religious crisis in the country by provoking the Muslim population. Recently, the US President, Donald Trump, made an accusation that there was a Christian genocide going on in Nigeria, even confirming that churches were being burned and Christians killed virtually every day. He then started rolling out conditions to be met by the Nigerian government and sanctions to be considered on government, individuals, and groups. He went on to list Nigeria yet again as a country of special concern. Among the conditions he rolled out was that the Sharia system was to be abolished in the northern states and blasphemy laws be scrapped. As government demand that the Nigerian government put pressure on the northern states to abolish the Sharia system and the Hizbah. At this juncture, we would like to make the following observations. One, even the British colonialists who conquered our land by force of arms could not altogether get rid of the Sharia system. Therefore, No foreign power can do it now, after more than 60 years of independence. 2, the Sharia system is an integral part of our constitution, which, in recognition of everybody's right to religious freedom, provided for 3 legal systems, namely the British common law, the Sharia personal law, and the customary law. 3, moreover, the constitution allowed for concurrent powers that gives states the power to make laws affecting any of the concurrent list, of which enacting Sharia law is a part of. 4, unless the constitution of our country and its democratic federalism is going to be trampled on, the plot to force the federal government to pressure state governments to abolish the Sharia system and Hizbah is not wise. 5, the Sharia system has never been imposed on any non-Muslims in Nigeria. 6, the blasphemy law is not a religious law, but a law enacted by respective state assemblies in order to preserve peace and harmony. 7, the Sharia system has no connection whatsoever with the different types of insecurity issues happening in Nigeria. 8, the Hizbah institution has never engaged in any type of arrest. It is an unarmed organization concerned only with the enforcement of Sharia moral laws within the ambit of the national law. Therefore, on behalf of all the 40 Islamic organizations that form the Zamfara State Muslims League, we hereby state the following. 1, we in Zamfara State are more than 99% Muslims. We were the first to implement the Sharia system in 1999. We want all and sundry to know that we are comfortable with the system and we will never allow it to be tampered with. 2, the request of Dr. Obadere is not based on any expertise, but on biasness and Islamophobia. 3, the U.S. has no business meddling in the international affairs of our country, or act as a custodian of a certain religion, or start a new crusade against Islam, with Nigeria as its first victim. 4, we emphatically affirm that Muslims in Nigeria, Palestinians are paying if America should decide to come to Nigeria to dismantle Sharia. 5, we are calling on President Bola Tinubu to treat carefully. He should remember that he rose to power on the goodwill of Sharia-loving Muslim population of this country. 6, we also call on Muslim representatives in the Senate and the House of Representatives never to allow themselves to be used for the achievement of crooked objectives detrimental to the interests of those they represent. 7, we call on our governors and members of the respective houses of assemblies not to relent or give in on this matter. They must stand firm and ensure our freedoms in a sovereign Nigeria. We are also using this medium to appeal to our northern governors, especially the Sharia compliant states, to intensify efforts in protecting, safeguarding, and promoting the Sharia legal system in their respective states. 8, it is time for our traditional rulers to stand up and talk. The labor of our leaders past shall never be in vain. 9, our ulama and imams must stand up and talk. Imams must convey our message of resistance on all pulpits. Sharia implementation is our religious right, which we are entitled to. We will never accept intervention on how to practice our religion from any quarter. 10, finally, we call on all Muslims in Nigeria to be ready to defend our religion and the Sharia system, whatever it takes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Welcome back. This is Radio Biafra House of Service coming to you through Radio Biafra London. My name remains Mazi Jonathan Chinedu from Olu province of Biafra London. With me here is Mazi Obasi. Therefore, we are here live and direct. Today is the 11th day of the 12th month, being December and Thursday. Remember, we are talking on the Sokoto Caliphate manipulations, and we talk about Sharia, and we talk to the Middle Belters to come together. Therefore, our lines are now opened, and as you may hear from the clip, the Caliphate manipulations has been ongoing. This is how they roll. Today they are calling on Muslims to come and defend. Is it Muslims in Plateau that there is no Sharia? Is calling to come and help the Caliphate. Rally them round. They know how to manipulate the indigenous people. They know how to manipulate. They're using Muslim sentiment. And you ask yourself, why are the Fulani Caliphate killing even Muslims? Why? These are things you prick the minds of all these non-Fulani Muslims, but they don't think, because once they even Hausa Muslims that are being killed, why should Fulani be made governor and political representatives in a Hausa majority, heavily Hausa majority state and zones, but they use Islam to manipulate you the same way Ottoman Danfodio used Islam in order to divide Hausas, divide the brothers. As Mazi asked, why is religion? How is religion more important than or covers your ethnic identity? And I also think that this is why these foreign religions are invasive. Anywhere they enter, they occupy and take preeminence. They take it all. They don't leave nothing for you. This is what the Fulani are using, and it is high time for us to understand their manipulations. That is what we are revealing here on Radio Biafra, because we don't want their carnage, this Fulani hegemony to continue. That is why we continue maintaining that the Sokoto Caliphate must be dismantled, and the voice is getting louder, because now they are understanding that the Sokoto Caliphate is the problem. This is why they quickly dispatch their foot soldiers in order to use Islam to rally others around them. The people that they are killing, Muslims like them, but as long as they are not Fulani, they kill them. But when it comes to fighting an outside battle or war, they now start using Islam to congregate you. This is how manipulative they are. This is 21st century. You shouldn't be falling victim as you fell in the 19th century during the Ottoman Danfodio 1804 system of manipulation. Our lines are now opened. Our WhatsApp and Signal line remains +61 405 142 547. I repeat, +61 405 142 547. I repeat once more, +61 405 142 547. I have the first caller on WhatsApp. You are the first caller, please. Can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp. Can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp, are you there? Please go on. Go on, yes. Go on.
Precisely from Anambra, calling you from Anambra. A travel house for Baja work that I used to do. That's a part. And I want to thank Uncle Obase. I think I got it right. Uncle Obase, thank you for coming in and I want to ask you a question directly to Uncle Abasi. Then, if Uncle Jonathan have a contribution to find. Now, the question I want to ask is, because I'm sounding.
Mazi Abasi, can you hear him?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Can I go on?
Yes, go on. Mazi Abasi, are you there? Can you hear him? Mazi Abasi, can you hear him? Mazi Onyemuche, please go on. Let's go on.
Okay, my question is this. Okay, referring back to 2000 and
yes, I can hear you.
I think 2010 precisely.
I can hear you.
When I sorry, can I go on?
I can hear him on the radio, but I'm not hearing from your own side.
Okay. Okay, just hold on. Okay, can you hear him now, Mazi Abasi?
Yes, I can hear you. I've been hearing him, but I cannot hear you.
Okay. Mazi Onyemuche, go on.
Okay, sir, my question is this. I'm just trying to make a reference for a question. Now, that was 2010 when I got to hear about Wazruke and how he messed up. And though I'm quoting individually, he messed up. But some of the person might go wrong to say, no, he didn't mess up. Fine. But when I started listening to Radio Biafra from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to date, I've never heard or seen it that the media in the European world acknowledge IPOBs to be terrorists. And precisely also, this uncle of the whole world, Mr. Trump, who came in and said he's going to fight for Christians. I don't think he has ever seen Christians as terrorists, or maybe some of them who are, how do I say it, who are Lamajum, that they are terrorists, killing people and trying to work on their own religion to be seen and popular in Nigeria. Now, why I'm saying this is that since those years that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have been talking about Christianity, let me just say this. Have you heard that Christians have Twitter handle that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu 2014, when he was exposing them, he said, this killing is becoming too much. That is lying. That Christians have Twitter handle to carry out their information on how they are being met in Nigeria, in Africa entirely, precisely Nigeria. So my question is this: are we tagged terrorists? Because why I'm asking the question is that I want to know why this man, who is not a member of Senate, came up to say what he's saying, yet the Nigerian government have not called him in to arrest him or probe him for spilling for the Senate to, look into this and let America stay away from, coming to say they are attacking Islam or Muslim, however he could quote it. So all I'm saying is that it's noise on the background. Can you hear me?
Go on, Mazi, go on.
Hello, sir.
Go on.
My question is this. Since I've been listening to Radio Biafra, America has never seen IPOB as terrorists. Now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stood for Christians, and he said somebody should browse with your phone so that you don't look as if he's the one orchestrating the information. Browse and tell him, do Christians, the body of Khan and PSM, do they have Twitter handle? And nobody answered that question since 2014 that I've been listening to him. That particular, because it's beyond 2011, I started listening to Radio Biafra. Till now, we have never seen it that Christians have come out or with one voice, like Koka is talking from both sides of his mouth, to say that Christians are being killed. Now, this man in question who reiterated and said that he's appealing to the Senate to come and back this off from America coming to attack his brothers in the Muslim world. I'm asking, is it right for him to say this, that Nigerian government will not arrest him? Does he have that legal or constitutional right? Because I remember that Pastor Bosun said that we are secular states. Then why is it that someone who is practicing Sharia, which is parallel, and who has even felony in the constitution of Nigeria, not Nnamdi Kanu, now why is it that he cannot be apprehended to probe him and to find out why he's making such alternation? So that's my question, sir.
Okay, Mazi, what's the vibration from?
Go on.
Okay. Mazi, thank you very much. I'm really trying to grapple my head around the question to know exactly where it's going, but let me just say this, that in the country where laws actually works, by the man making those utterances in itself, he has not broken any law that I think he should be arrested for. It is just that those laws are applied differently when it comes to Biafrans and Christians. If he was to be a Christian or a Biafran, of course, they will have sent DSS to him and they will have intimidated him. But they own Nigeria. As we all know, they are free to say what they say. Freedom of speech works for them. It doesn't work for us. Freedom of speech works for them. The interpretation of the law against them is either fair or manipulated in their favor. So everything is right. All the condition is okay for him to say whatever he wants to say or do whatever he wants to do. And as for the CAN and the Christian organization, somebody came to one of our program and said, why should we speak for the Middle Belt? Because they kill our brothers, in the program, leading towards the genocide that they finally committed in the Biafran war. And why should we fight for them? We are fighting for them because it's the right thing to do. We're doing this thing not because all of us saying this are Christian by religion, but because we understand that the people they call Christian, the people who are Christian, are indigenous people like us. And if we don't cry for them, if we don't shout on their behalf, when something like that happens to us, people are going to keep quiet. Okay, they kept quiet before. Maybe they will keep quiet this time deliberately. Maybe before it was out of ignorance. You see, so I can't really tell why they haven't arrested him, and I don't think they should arrest him. He's saying his mind, and I think everybody should say his mind. But in the end, we know they own Nigeria, and they can say and do whatever they want to do. I hope I'm able to, at least answer your question to any extent. Thank you.
Mazi Nnamdi, you want to say something? You had him.
Yeah, the final question is this. Hello, sir, can you hear me?
Please make it brief. Make it brief so that I take other calls, please.
Yes, I'll make it brief. Okay, now, for President of the United States of America to openly come up to say he's going to stand to make sure that the killing of the Christians in Nigeria is stopped. Okay? Now, my question is this. If he goes back to, retreat from what he has said out, because this has to do with his political career and also the integrity of entire nation called America. Now, if he retreats back to this, because I've seen virtually that last time Mazi Chinedu said that we are practical Christians here, while the Europeans are cultural Christians. So my question in between is this. If he retreats back, not coming to make sure he fulfilled this, whether in a physical battle or maybe on the random table of political war, to make sure this thing stops and eradicated to the advantage of the Christians down here, should we on our own continue to believe that there is no religious war in Nigeria going on? And also, does it mean that we are really free as a people.
Mazi, please, let me help you, please, because sometimes you ask questions that are basic. I don't know the way you see things sometimes. I'm becoming impatient. You ask very primary questions.
Okay, sorry, sir.
No, you're okay, but sometimes you have to rephrase your question in a way that could be, Mazi, please go on. Mazi Obasi, please go on.
Yes, Mazi, to just answer your question just very quickly, politically there's something, I'm sure you've been hearing about poison pill. Poison pill is a political term. It's a political term that is sometimes used in diplomacy where a condition that you practically cannot meet is being given to you in order to justify a future action. And if you weigh your choices and you realize that the future action might be more terrible than the choices you are given, and you are willing to take that bitter pill, you will take it. What are those bitter pills? Ending Sharia law. They are already fighting it. They have sworn they will not end it. Other reforms that has been given to the government. There are a tall list. I can't list them. We don't have that time. There are a tall list that has been given to the Nigerian government for them to fulfill it if the America must stay put. Now, they are crying on the Sharia law. That is the poison pill. So if they don't end it, and America decide not to keep their word, they will be lying to themselves, because the policy of the American government is a Trump policy. Trump has left there today. Tomorrow is going to be said that Americans make promises that they don't keep. And they, as a superpower, understand that you cannot make threats you don't have the willingness or the capacity to carry out. It is better you don't. Thank you, Mazi.
There were Mazi. Okay. And also to put something, Mazi Onyemuche, now you'll be listening from the background, please. First of all, Trump is not the only president of America, since even this Fulani terrorism started. This Boko Haram started, I think, 2000, 20 years or 20-something years ago. Before that, there has been killings by the caliphate through their foot soldiers in every guise. So, I don't believe in maybe pushing somebody that wants to help. You understand? It's just like this adage they said, where tortoise has been in the toilet for many days. Now when he saw in the toilet pitch, latrine, when he saw people after some days of enduring all those things, he saw some people that were up on top trying to dig to help. He said, I beg, me wanna do quick. It's very funny. So what am I trying to say? Sometimes we misunderstand how things work. Donald Trump is the American president. He cannot take decisions unilaterally. America is how America works. Things go methodically. During the first term of Donald Trump, he tried to also, he put Nigeria in the list of countries with particular concern that time. He confronted led Buhari that time, that they were killing Christians. So, for me, there is nothing we can even talk when it comes to this issue against Donald Trump. Oh, if he failed to do it. Did you push him to do it in the first place? Did you put him to do it? There is some type of mentality sometimes I don't like in our people. And this mentality comes from, I know it's a religious mentality. It's very hard to remove. Because we always believe that there will be divine intervention. And once anything starts, I say, hey, Nahim with the presence. Now we get mouth, we get audacity, where we should not even get audacity. To say, oh, do it. Now God put you there to do it. Oh. If you not do them, God will do you this. And where have you been since? You are crying, you are dying, like you can't do nothing. So, he's doing it. So it is we that are suffering this, that's supposed to even work more harder to prove, to establish that there is Christian genocide. It is in the hands of every one of us. Look at Bishop Kuka. Bishop Kuka, a bishop of that caliber, denying that there is a genocide. These are people that are being used by the caliphate in order to try to thwart what even Trump is trying to do. That is why he is making efforts, extraordinary efforts, sending congressmen into Nigeria to make their Nigeria has tried to bribe. Were we not there when the Democrats were in power? Biden, did he give a damn about any of us? So there are things. That's why I say, my brother, one day there are some questions even I don't know, because there's you don't have any mouth to even coerce Donald Trump on any way if he fails. I don't like that statement. He can even keep quiet and to hell with every of you. Because yes, the American government is there to protect. Yes, that is in the paper. That is their creed. But if the leader, if the person in power refuses to do something, or he was shown the bad, the wrong information, or deviated through lobby, because this caliphate, they have lobbies, very strong. They finance their lobbies. Who is the chairman of United Nations? Is this Security Council? I think it's a Fulani woman. I mean, not something. They have lobby. They don't behave like you people. Ndibo, where everybody have money on his pocket only, focusing on himself, on selfish interests. You don't gather money to gather and say, look, let us lobby for our region, even inside Nigeria. But nobody cares. So I don't even have anything to say that if he fail to, do you put him there to even do it for you? That is why I say sometimes I lose my patience. It is for us to do what it takes and remove this entire religious divine intervention entitlement that God will do it using somebody. I don't engage in that any longer. It's we that is going to save ourselves. We continue pushing. Anywhere help comes from, it's okay. But it's not something that we continue. Well, believe. Nah, God put. Some people I hear somebody say, now God put Trump there to help Biafra. If he didn't do it, God would. Come on, where have your God been since we have been? Our people with this bad mouth, we should. I don't know where we are heading to. That is part of politics, or lack of politics we have. Instead of doing our own job, we are now completely engaged. He will do it. Is God put him there to do it for us? No. I said no. Come and call and prove me wrong. If we don't do what we're supposed to do, we get the result we are not supposed to get. That is the thing. So all hands must be on deck in order to help ourselves first, so that any person, anywhere other help come from, is okay. How many salute? What did he say? What did he say about this? He's an Igbo man. Because of his political position, he said, yeah, Christians are also killing Christians in the southeast. But to invade, even Nigeria was supposed to invade America because of American killing of black people. Look at all this. And you think that they are not noticing all this? Come on. Caller on signal. Mazi, please go on. Can you hear me? Mazi Akas, I think it's you. No, sorry. Mazi Chinedu, can you hear me? Please go on. Mazi Chinedu, please go on. Caller on signal. Go on. Okay, go on.
Thank you so much, Mazi. I don't know how I can thank all the lieutenants and the very Biafran struggle, because without this selfless effort, our voice wouldn't have been heard. Imagine, there is one thing I want to talk about, although it is slightly attached to our message today. It is good we say out all these things. I want Biafrans and most of us that is here to check how the Nigerian government, with this Fulani, caliphate, has, if you watch and how they go about with their propaganda and trying to, covering their evil, you can as well bring the thing I'm talking about based as in on this same man where he was, how Sharia law doesn't infringe on the normal Nigerian law, and how it is meant for only people of Sharia, how they dominate.
Mazi,
okay. From even the I can it was connecting. If you check on how Nigeria presents their blackmail on IPOB or against Biafrans, you find out
Mazi, I don't know. You are connected.
I'm sorry.
Can you move around?
It's the zoo. That is how it is.
Yes, move around a bit. Yes,
I know how it works. Yeah. So these pictures and all these their antics and tactics, it has been one. But it's just that they have a docile citizen that doesn't ask questions, and they have a people which they have mastered how to bring out their hate. They will just bring a cloth which everyone that is in the zoo will definitely say, oh, it is something of medicine and all of those things. And I bring pump action. If you watch on those same pump action, and they will bring box and bring all of those things. Before you know, they blackmail they criminalize up to 40 to 80 people, which they will take and do whatever they like. And this same thing, they know that as soon as they show it to the public, IPOB and Biafran this thing. If it's not for Mazi Jonathan, who have come in this very platform to warn the Nigerian government to stop putting a Biafran flag on this day, so they would have continued. But the point I'm pointing at is that how they don't change, because they are just preoccupied with their desperacy. There is no change of formula. It is just that same thing. When Sheikh Gumi used to make all his assertions, it is the same way, just what this man read out. And in that book where he was reading, he now said, unscrupulous element, Biafran, this one that is eyed on a middle belt, this thing to achieve their aim. But there is one fact and one thing I want to ask. Do you know, in all of those things he read out, there was no out how he's going to stop, or how he thought, or idea on how to stop the death, even if he's Christian, even if he's a Muslim, even if he's ethnic. He did not profile. That is where people like us that have been taught, people like us that have, dedicate ourselves in this critical reasoning and, saying out things on the truth aspects, do ask other Nigerians to look at. This man is just like, trying to feast on that same old a pattern which has been working for them. Say it in the time of Renaissance, where people think beyond sentiment. And that is where I want to talk about our brother that is in the studio with you. Because when it comes to organization, you must overlook things. You must take away pride, take away what thing you might think of, and look at the ultimate result. Because that is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have taught us in this very place. Every one of us that is in this very struggle, do you know that we don't address ourselves with, I'm talking to the Middle Belters, just as our brother talked about, and also Biafrans at large. Do you know that we don't address ourselves with any educational qualifications or any traditional title or anything? Mazi. These are, ideas which we have sold ourselves into, and it is working, because what we are fighting against, it is something everybody, if we don't unite and fight in one. I'm talking to my brothers in the for the Igbo man from time immemorial. They know that these are the people that has the capacity to reason beyond any sentiment that you might want to build around them, and also fight for what is right for humanity, despite who it might favor. Why the British hated us so much, and that is why the Fulani Caliphate and their what will I call it, as a government, just as it has been established in Nigeria, are trying every of government through their tiger base, through all their military operations in the east, Python Dance 1 and on 2. So I urge my brothers in the Middle Belt to, align with us, because here we are not talking about off, despite that we are the ones that, embolden these Fulanis to see and learn, because as from one nabe, that it is when it happens to learn. You must not allow it to happen to you before you learn, because you might not be alive to learn or to make corrections. So this is the time to align, because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. The greater danger here is the Fulanis, who have constituted themselves in order to wipe away all the indigenous people, all distancing all over Nigeria. And the Muslims of any part of the country is not exempted, because the Fulanis are very smart, that they hide themselves in any clothes. If it comes to religious, they are there. If it comes to ethnic, they are there. So these are the times to be wise. You must make sure.
If you come, Mazi, you forget one. If you come to region, they use not. We the not.
Yeah. Everything that is in their disposal. Thank you so much, Mazi. Ever miss Radio Biafra? Because, Mazi, do you know that I have a testimony? Most of all these preachers, because our brother that just called last, what he was trying to point out is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said in time past, that these people see now, they have not been able to constitute themselves, come to a position where they will stand as a force to save even their own congregations. That you know that they can, they don't even have and browse or study or even inform them of anything. We know that these are government, these are Fulani stooge, which they have formed, just like they have formed what they in the Igbo land, what they call them. I don't even have time for all of those names. So all these people are just there to do their bidding. So I'm urging my brothers in the Middle Belt to come together. We are selfless in this very struggle. We don't hate the Yorubas, neither do we hate the Middle Belt. Even the Fulanis, that is normal. We don't hate them. We prefer solution for mankind. We have died for it. We lose our young men, we lose our we lose our territories, just as they have gerrymandering every one of them to the middle belt. And all this is a tactics, ploy, in order to bribe you in their quest, which we are never part of. So the story should be a lesson, should be a booster to your, to the pursuit of freedom. Because if we do not do anything, if we do not align together, it must not have boundary. Just if you ask me, they are Christians. What brought us together? Even without the establishment of the British ministry, what they call it, missionaries, we have too many things in common. It is just the Fulani that have brought division in order to conquer, to subjugate, to kill, and to wipe away every ethnic group in Nigeria. There is no ethnic group in this very Nigeria that the Fulani have not dealt with. Before the change of the 1966 coup to Igbo coup, then we are killing the Middle Belt. And then it was their plan in order to, carry out the same thing that they are doing now. And the purpose of that very coup is to stop this very same thing that we are now facing today. That is why if you postpone your doomsday, will be there it's waiting for you. The best thing to do is fight it head on. Either you survive or you go down standing and fighting. But at this very time, I'm telling you that the Fulani are never formidable. They have no strength. The only thing that they are breeding on, it is the foolishness of the ethnic Nigerians. The hatred of an Igbo man, your love that they will give you oil, just as Alakija and the rest of them, that they have shared them for them, which doesn't benefit the common man. There is a great danger, which is the extermination of every Christian and moderate Muslims. So the Muslim that he's calling in that very place, has he been able to protect them? The people that they are killing in Kwara, are there no Muslims and Christians? All what he just said there is to just whip up sentiment and drag you into unworkable this thing that will definitely, prolong your suffering. And before I go, I want to tell you that anywhere you are, you should start for somebody like Mazi and IPOB, because we have suffered. There were people that was killed in Paul. There was people that was killed in on the Chahed Bridge. Uncountable that if I start counting, we will not live here. And then I still remember what most of you were saying, but today it is open and it is clear. Mazi, the testimony that I said I have is that there have been so many people that come together now that I talk to is on a regular basis. All of them, they have seen that all these establishments that they have, they do go to their churches. It is all for conquest. There is no betterment. Because one of the things that make me to stop, religious activities, because I started asking. For the past 4 years, I've not gone to church. It's not that I don't want to go to church, but I cannot be a party or in a place where my plight cannot be discussed. I heard it clearly from a pastor that the general overseer of the church that I was attending said that they should not discuss this thing and, exclude myself. I must be in a place where there will be, effort in order to salvage whatever that we stem today to be our problem. Which my religion today, it is in IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the Biafran project. And there is a religious killing which have started since 1914 to date. And today it has gone around to the whole Nigeria. Everyone of us join this very redemption effort. Mazi, thank you. I say, may Elohim bless you and bless the leadership.
Thank you.
Words, what I can say here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We must continue. I have a caller on WhatsApp, but it has dropped. And I think with that, we now go towards closing the program. Please. Mazi Obasi, are you there?
Yes, sir. Mazi, I'm here.
There, well, please continue, make your closing remarks before we call it. There, well, please.
No, Mazi, thank you very much once again for opening your doors to us every time that we're here and opening your doors to Radio Biafra itself. All I'm going to say is just very short of what I said earlier. For every effect that is real, there is a cause that is equally as real. Nothing happens just because you wish it. Understand this and understand the place of action and wishes. Ndewonu.
There, Mazi, thank you very much. Dear friends and lovers of freedom, you know, the time has come for us to always have a complete retrospect about issues. We continue talking about the manipulations of the caliphate, yes. We shout, but why are they doing it? They are doing it for their own advantage, for their own benefit. How do they reach there where they are today? Because it doesn't mean that they don't have challenges. They have. But they were able to overcome their individual challenges and face issues as a people because they know that their individual survival depends on their collective survival. That is why they look down on their differences and came together, start financing their collective interests, take their collective interests as number one. The caliphate, the Fulani, they have division of labor. You have the foot soldiers that they send to scout as Fulani headsmen. Those that they are doing their job, causing problems. You have others that are also attacking. You have others in the political hierarchy moving around, protecting these people, looting and financing. That is how things work because of their collective interest. But what is our own? Here we are like Mazi Obasi. He preached about the people of the Middle Belt in general coming together. Why should it be, be preached? Because it is very difficult for them. What of us, the Biafrans? There are interests, selfish interests or private interests. Everybody has individual interests in anything he's doing. Look at us here in this struggle, genuinely in this struggle. We are not being paid, but we take our time, invest our resources in order to continue this. Whereas there are others that are, some come into this struggle in order to have one benefit or the other. This is the problem. This is the problem. So, you see that when some parts are doing, the others are doing the reaping, their mentality. And others also believe that there will be divine intervention. That is why at any slightest thing, either hope is raised or hope is lost. I don't know whether people understand what I'm saying. Our people aware of action and reaction is like people in the area. Before you know, their temperature have risen. Before you know, if you do, it don't fall back, it don't fall down. Temperature risen, temperature falling. Because of our mentality. This is hope. Now somebody must come and do it for us. We cannot do it. Oh. Somebody will come and do it for us. Once there is any glitter of maybe as Trump is, hey, now the whole hope will be on there now. Hey, now you will do it. And people will relax. Many of us will relax. Many of our people will relax, thinking, you know, God don't bring that divine intervention don't come. This is a fundamentally flawed mentality. This is why we cannot sustain things as a people. If not IPOB this time, we cannot sustain. We are not dogged as a people. I'm telling you, it's very sad, but I'm saying it on air. After all, we fought for 3 years and everybody jettisoned and embraced Nigeria without no reserve, no plan B, no plan C, nothing. Everybody went into sleep. Who does that? Which kind of people have you ever seen that did that? All we know is to give an excuse. Nah, hey, now you want to kill all of us. Nah, you want this and that. Hey, nah, well, nah. Because of the mentality we have. We want always shortcuts, but the world is not like that. You see, this world we are in is a very wicked world. I've seen it. When I read some books, or I start listening, watch some documentaries, I shake head, I say, we are our mentality, we need to change our mentality to get where we are going. Otherwise, we're in a complete mess. Honestly. Do you know what just calculate it. What made the South Sudanese to fight? Do you know 1955, before even independence, they started the war. And they ended it the same way Biafra war was ended. But they became they became Atala. They said, let's be watching. If it's our people, everybody will go and start trading. See this trading, mercantile mentality. I saw a video somebody was making from China. Say, Ndibo. Nsobu they call. That Ndibo it is enjoy and they enjoy and I enjoy. He showed the video of Ebe Ndubu na China. The warehouses hello dry here. And the family na basically here one full here one day bojina on a mono that they go and import. That ndi Yoruba ndi family na ndi Ugu na Abiazi. Even ofonye go they have money now. Is it what you are? Look at, is it not Obi Kubana that I'm seeing now that they brought down his nightclub in Abuja? Tear it down, give it to another person. They easily deal with you until we learn to know that, look, we need to combine and work as a people. Support what we are doing. That is only savior. Otherwise, sometimes when I see Igbo people boasting, I laugh. Now I get money. Now this is a billionaire. You are working with Nigerian police protecting you. People that only one other can. I think Tinubu said VIP police police protection. Police protecting VIP would be withdrawn. Only one order, you become nothing. Black beauty without black power is useless. Social media compared with no power, he has no political power. What we do is begging. Begging. You listen to Big Kubana the other day. I was lamenting that people are now as billionaire this, but they don't know what they are suffering in the hands of Nigeria. That they can destroy you with a stroke of pen, and you continue shouting. They gave his club without power, you are nothing. And what are you? There's nothing. You are just ordinary political beggar, begging for protection, begging for pity, begging for everything. The only saving grace we have is to come together, support what we are doing. Even you can call and give your advice privately, not on air. Here become. But when you continue thinking, let us continue. God will do it one day. One day. One day can be forever. South Sudanese, their war, 17-year-old war. So you know what is 17 years? Can you sustain 5-year war? Active war. Ask yourself. But they sustained the 17-year-old war. Brutal war against the region with Arabs. Do you know how brutal it was? In 1970, they stopped 1972 in armistice, and they continue watching. When these people continued encroaching on the agreement, disrespecting the agreement, after about 10 or 11, they start again another war. They said, no, we cannot live like slaves. Instead, all of us die. That is how you know people that merit something. Some are saying, I had somebody and Donald Trump, does it mean that they don't know what has been happening, how we are being cared? They are taking time. You now don't know where from, I don't know, Stone Age talking. Think that is how things work? In a ultimatum, because it's you. When Biden was there, can you raise your mouth? Obama was there. He gave us a terrorist to be the head of Nigeria. Jonathan ran away. What did you do? Now you see a glimpse of something. You have to even come and add your power, add your efforts. Call IPOB, say I want to donate money, please. No, you will not do. I say, okay, if let me tell you, with what I'm seeing, do you see when the and Nduku completely start invading the economics side, start importing. Now I may import here. You become, because instead you see they will buy goods. They don't care about making gain or anything, because they buy goods directly to the north. They don't pay. They don't pay for clearance. You go, they tax you, and you have to make gain. When you go, the goods you are saying one piece for 100,000. Northern will be selling it 50,000. The same thing. Do you think that the people will, because you're able man, become patronizing you? Now continue joking. Within small time, that area they will invade it, and then you have no other place again, nothing again, and when is no way again to move on. The only way is the hard way. Support what we are doing. That is it. Stop being nasty against IPOB. Stop hating IPOB for nothing. What we are doing the right thing. Are you getting it? These people, the Fulani, as Mazi Chinedu said, they are smart, they are shrewd, they are, and that is allowed. in order to save your communal self. Everything is allowed. Intimidate. Look at how they come. They can use religion in order to rally people around them. They can use tribe. Say we are all not. We are all Muslims. We are all what else they cannot use? Now ask yourself, what do we use? What is our rallying point? Is it a whole religion one? When something is happening to Assemblies of God, Catholics say hallelujah, I no concern him. His God is more than his Jesus is different. He serves him more than assemblies. Choose to say, nothing go. If now nothing go happen. So leave those people. They have missed the road. So that's why they don't have faith. What a confused, scattered people. We cannot do anything without being organized. I'm telling you. And individualism is out of the way. As an individual, you can't do nothing. We are fighting against a monstrous systems that don't want us. Oh wow, if they press you down, they press you down, you die. That is what they even want. No person cares. It is us that must care for ourselves and raise ourselves and raise our hand. That is it. And that is why Biafra remains our religion. And Radio Biafra remains where we rally around, where we gather, where we worship. Therefore, we must continue until our goal, the restoration of Biafra, is achieved. Remember, tomorrow, Mazi Jonathan Chinedu will be here on air in order to make some expositions. Thank you for listening. From me, Mazi Jonathan Chinedu, together with Mazi Obasi. It is simply good evening.
Emeka unusi Biafra gaimara Biafra gane bozo gamiri agaimara Biafra gane bozo gamiri Biafra gane Zombe Wabuki Anijala Naloma. Biafra gane bozo gamiri Biafra gane Zombe Wabuki Anijala Naloma. Wabuki Anijala Naloma.